Happy Monday, everybody. It's Monday. It is, right? Yes, because the Eagles won.
Yeah.
The Eagles won.
You know.
In a very dramatic game, by the way. Lots of people were upset about it. Many controversies. Good Monday to everyone. Have a little hiss coming out of that speaker over there, and I got rid of it. A good Monday to everyone.
How do I have your beard stubble on me, bro?
I don't know how. Don't embarrass me about my beard stubble in public.
It's like glitter. It's like, your wife catches you because you came home with glitter on her. It's like your beard stubble on me.
Guilty Angel wants to talk about Charlie Kirk. I don't really want to.
Well,
I mean, the only reason is because I don't really have much to say. I can't really offer much to the conversation. If you want to talk about what people are calling the assassination of Charlie Kirk, all I can say about that is that I feel like it's one of the most horrible things I've ever seen, and that it's going to be relived in my memory over and over and over again. I'll never ever forget the image of that moment, and so I find it all just so deplorable.
It does seem like it is it's part of the continuing project of social media to constantly desensitize people to violence and gore. And I don't think that's really healthy or fair to put people through.
It might be, but it's not going to work on me.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to work on me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand it. I think that, obviously it brings up all the questions, but none of them are going to get solved through this terrible and horrible event.
I know, totally. The powers that be absolutely fucking love that we're all arguing about it online instead of actually challenging any of the actual rules about how any of this works.
So I kind of don't feel like I want to get dragged into a conversation that they want me to have.
Right.
I feel horrible that it happened to all of us. Obviously, it's absolutely terrorized his family. It's probably terrorized people who do similar kind of work. I saw that Taylor Swift apparently got escorted into the game with bulletproof whatevers. I mean, I think people have all been shaken to the bone, because what we have is, I think everyone was hoping for a conspiracy, because the worst case scenario is that this is just an everyday guy. And well, it turns out that it's just an everyday guy. And if it's an everyday guy, that means everyday guys are out there. That means
we've known that for years, right?
But we just never seen them do this.
I know.
And so,
I mean, here's the thing: is people become victims of gun violence in America.
Yes. Constantly.
I myself am a victim of gun violence. Like, I have agoraphobia from an event that I had to witness.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just what happens. So it's just not shocking to me that it happened to somebody who's famous, who's got some notoriety, regardless of what the reason for that notoriety is. It just so happens that there's so many overlapping storylines with this person. But I just don't see it as anything remarkable in the United States, where people are consistently trying to prevent this kind of violence from happening, and it consistently continues. This is part of the bigger.
I don't see any prevention.
If everybody's really, really upset about this, let's unite on the fact that we have a major problem that should be dealt with. But nobody's willing to do that, because
this is the part where I'm like, blah 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 blah, but and it's not because you're saying anything wrong. It's just because, again, we're just in this hamster wheel of absolutely nothing.
Because apathy is the only solution, right? What do? Get increasingly upset that nothing is improving? I mean, okay, I guess ultimately we all just turn into nihilists, apathetic people who just don't see any solution, and so we're just going to continue to live in this hellscape. Okay, I mean, and this is exactly why we didn't want to address it before, is because this is the only way to talk about this. It's awful, and nobody wants to have. Nobody wants to join our live and have a shitty time talking about how terrible things are. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy hanging out with people and talking about celebrity gossip and shit. Because, that stuff is more fun.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, with the celebrity gossip, we can still find our way into trying to like actually speak about things that might help, us all get better. Like ultimately, I'm here to try and get better. I really am. That's all I'm really interested in.
It's true. Talking about celebrity gossip is a really great like conduit through which we can discuss media manipulation and trying to become, build some intellectual self-defense and not get tripped up into false narratives and stuff. I feel like that is probably the biggest lesson to learn right now. Things are going to get much fucking weirder in this country. Things are already super weird. They're going to get weirder. And I think it's just really important that people really prioritize anytime that they're engaged in any of this fucking weirdness. Like, are you being shown the truth? Is this really what's happening? Is there somebody who benefits from you believing a narrative that's false? Like, identify what that is. Really investigate. Be scrutinous. Be skeptical. This is what's going to help us not divert from the real problems. And the real problems really, like, somebody pointed this out today online. They were like, it's so interesting that we're always engaging in these various culture wars, gender culture war, fucking, race culture war, like, whatever, name them, right? But the one thing that we never talk about at all in America is the class war. And I'm saying that that's by fucking design. Like,
Lee said just now, I come here to get away from politics, and this is what I think I love about what we do. And so we're only making a small concession right now, Lee, but
by request, yeah.
By request, but because Guilty Angel asked to talk about Charlie Kirk, and the only reason I wanted to make that concession, the only reason I thought, well, what, I am going to talk about this is because it was like it was a deep wound. I mean, it was an instant and deep wound.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
And so I think like we can talk a little bit about healing from it. I think like at least a path to healing, because I really know that I have been, at a certain level traumatized by it. I think about it too much. I'm worried about us, all of us. And so I think the worst part about it all is that instead of seeing instead of this becoming a moment when we all go, wait a minute, man, let's pump the brakes and let's have a real like heart-to-heart conversation about all of our safety, not one side or the others, but everyone's. We're all really at risk right now, aren't we? And like we could have that conversation. Instead of that happening, you have political figures, you have media figures coming out and drawing the lines even deeper and digging, and creating an even deeper fissure between, because the objective here is to keep us, apart. And so, and I don't see a remedy to that until one or more events like this, I suppose. But I don't mean, I'm just saying like eye-opening occurrences, big giant moments. I don't know what it's going to take.
Events that force a conversation.
Right. Like, right. I don't know what event is going to come. Like, if this one isn't big enough, what do we have to wait for us to all just stop and think about how, and this is like happening in Lively versus Baldoni. We can see it playing out right there.
Oh my God. It's such a good point. Because like you can tell, like as soon as that happened, there were people who were willing to, they leapt right into the conversation in order to divert the conversation towards what they want you to talk about. There was a lot of people who are in great positions of power that were very, very eager to exploit this engagement and steer people's anger and steer people's grief towards their objective.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you bring up frickin' Baldoni, because what did we just see them do last week? But when the judge was arguing with the lawyers were arguing with the judge about their deficient production in Discovery, they brought up Taylor Swift. And they're like, hey, but what about if we talk about deposing Taylor Swift? It created a way for all of the content creators to talk about that specific diversion. Yeah, it's on like thumbnail. There's always people who are willing to exploit this kind of engagement and steer your attention elsewhere. So you just have to be mindful of that and watch out for it. And like, I'm not saying that I'm any better at doing that than other people, but I'm always skeptical. And I feel like that's like good self-defense.
I'm going to say, if I may, the last word on this.
Yeah.
We just have to we have to take these opportunities to grow, to further cement our feet in reality and understand what we're up against. And the better we understand what we're up against, I think the more equipped we're going to be for whatever moment is supposed to come in through all of this. But I understand the fear that comes around it, and I wish it never happened. Obviously, my heart goes out to all the people who were there, to his family, to his kids, his son who will never know him. These kinds of things are just, terrible. But unfortunately, we live in a sick and toxic society, and these things happen, and it's just, unfortunately, it's a part of our daily lives now. I mean, on the very same day, I believe there were 2 school shootings. So, you know what I mean? I mean, this is...
I know. People are like,
Yeah.
what is it coming to? It's coming to exactly what it's been coming to. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, America.
We're
at
in
war
hell.
with
Like,
itself. Yeah. Well, America's at war with itself, and we're just kind of skirting around the edges and shopping wherever.
but this is. I think that this is the natural not conclusion. The natural eventuality of a problem that has not been addressed. I think that things are just going to get worse if we don't fix this stuff.
There's one guy on the planet who doesn't think things are so bad, at least for a moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his name is Seth Rogen.
The Emmys were last night.
Seth Rogen.
That's the strangest segue
The
you could have
Canadians.
possibly.
I don't
come up
understand
with.
why people aren't
Oh my God.
screaming about the Canadians taking over all of the entertainment. Between Ryan Reynolds and Seth
The
Rogen,
Canadians are
the
taking
Canadians
over Hollywood.
are taking over, and I call out to them to rescue me. I have been afloat
That's funny.
for decades in a sea of pain and suppression. Anyway, Seth Rogen, he won 4 shiny new trophies that he gets to put on, I suppose.
4 is a lot.
He's probably on the phone this morning with the mantel guy. Hey, I got to get a bigger one.
Those are really hard trophies to carry too, because they're kind of spiky. Have you seen the Emmys?
Yeah, they don't look like they're very comfortable. You definitely don't want to fall asleep with one. The coolest thing I ever saw in my life was I was at the whatever year it was the year the English Patient won. I was at the Miramax party. It was I think it's in the book, people walking around with Oscars. It was like the weirdest thing ever. And the most beautiful thing I ever saw was the winner of that year's foreign language film, which was Koya, a brilliant movie if you haven't seen it. And it starred this very young boy. And it was, of course, an overwhelming night. They won an Oscar after all. And this young boy, had fallen asleep while holding on to Oscar.
It's titled Kolya.
Kolya, yes.
In Czech, so it's Kolya, but in Czech it's Kolja. 1996.
Right.
Drama film
1996, yeah.
about
okay,
a
there you
man
go.
whose life is reshaped in an unexpected way. That's very vague.
Well, it doesn't need to be specific to be great. And because it is great, and it was so deserved of its Oscar. And this kid, he fell asleep holding it. What I was getting to is that you probably wouldn't want to do that with the Emmy. You'd probably end up with like something cut open. You'd be like, what happened to your face? I fell asleep with my Emmy.
That's a new one.
There you go. Congratulations, Seth Rogen. Congratulations, Hollywood, on rewarding itself. It's so funny. It's like Seth Rogen. I mean, I love the show. Full disclosure, I fucking love the show.
studio?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I adore it. We're not through it yet. And the reason is because I feel like if I binge it, it's over. And then what have I got? What's left? Just the memory, right? And the knowledge that Seth Rogen sits on his sofa and looks upon his mantle, where 4 of the sharpest, most dangerous trophies stand. I love the show,
This is for Canada.
but I just think it's kind of funny that Hollywood was like, oh my God, we love it too. It's about us after all.
Well, they always do that, right?
I mean, they're literally dropping their own names in the whole fucking thing.
No, I know, like La La Land won. I was like, of course it fucking did.
Right, La La Land. This could be the best movie ever made. A movie about us. That is.
Yep. Also, we
Love the show.
there was some wins of television shows that we really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like Britt Lauer won the Emmy for her role in Severance.
Did you see on her note?
Yeah, she just read her acceptance speech off of a note. But you said there's something on the back of it?
No, yeah, she like let me out. She had it written like that she's her innie.
What?
Yes.
That's so clever.
It's fucking great. You didn't see that? It's so great. It's like yeah, she was like holding it up, and somebody noticed that it. Well, I'm sure little publicist was like, hey, yeah, edit out is on there. Go ahead and tell somebody. Okay, bye. As a publicist.
That's how publicists talk.
Yeah.
Why are you whispering? I'm a publicist.
I'm a publicist. So, psst, hey, it's me, the publicist.
It didn't come from me.
I got a secret.
We have to make sure it's untraceable. No fingerprints.
Exactly. I didn't watch the Emmys. I don't know if I should have. I probably should have. Did you watch? You didn't. You were with me.
I didn't watch the Emmys. No, I was busy watching a 3-hour movie that we will talk about in a minute.
Yeah,
but
that's right,
I'm not
we were
done.
watching
I'm not done talking about the Emmys yet.
We're not done talking about the fucking Emmys.
Also,
though.
for Severance, Trammell Tillman, is that his name?
I'm gonna go with yes.
He won. He was the first black man to win in that category ever.
Really?
Yes, in like 77 years that they've had, and that was apparently the last category that remained to be claimed.
Oh, listen to me. Thank you for bringing this up. I did save this. It's 2025.
Yeah.
What the? And they're like, this is a horn, that I guess it should be like, can you believe the shame of us?
It should be, yeah.
It shouldn't be like, it's like I read this and I was like, do not fucking pat yourself.
No. I know America's so
on
good at
the
these
fucking back.
America's so good at these feel-good stories
Yeah,
that
dude.
are actually like evidence.
They're horror stories. They're not feel-good stories. They're like
evidence of total failure.
It's a fuck yeah. It's like fucking. It's 2025 and we still have first black things.
No, I know. My very favorite is every time there's an election, they always film like the lines around the block, and they're like, "Look at that civic engagement! Look, everybody's." And I was like, "Lines around the block shouldn't happen. This is a failure of your like civic institutions to conduct a fucking election.
It's fucking broken. There's
Nobody
a
should
line
be
because
waiting
it's
to cast
broken.
a vote.
Oh my God.
Something's fucking wrong.
I saw that.
But they
and look,
celebrate it like, look at us, aren't we great?
Congratulations. But this fucking idea that this boundary, this thing had to be broken through in 2025 is truly infuriating. To see it, I'm just like, you guys, it's like the Emmy said, hey, look, we're not that racist anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it said. It felt like the Emmys were saying, hey, we're not that racist anymore.
You're all fired up.
I am. I saw that. I mean, like, it's 2025, and I feel like it's fucking 1960 fucking whatever.
I know. This isn't something to celebrate.
Where's Lyndon Johnson when we need him? Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
Can we move on?
Okay. Congratulations to him, though. Not to taint his award or his accomplishment. Obviously, it was a great award. I wish it wasn't marred
in
the stupidity of our shame.
I loved him so much in that show. I don't know if you guys have seen Severance, but he's a fucking scene stealer. Anytime he's on screen, you're not watching anybody else. Unless it's Britt Lauer, obviously.
So one of my favorite shows that when we watched it, we couldn't shut up about. I think we were only on TikTok at the time. But it was that show that I don't remember the name of.
Adolescence?
Fuck, did I love that show.
Yeah, so that was like a short mini series, and it was incredible. It's one of those like, what do they call that? You're a filmmaker, right?
We did watch Heat, and we're going to get onto that in a moment. Go ahead.
What is it called where they do the whole shot is like one shot? There's no editing. It's like the camera just moves with everybody.
A oneer?
Is that, that's like slang, but what do they, is there a different word?
It's a one shot. It's a one shot.
Okay.
Yeah, a oneer.
Well,
I only know it as a oneer, and I don't like that name. It's like industry speak. So when I made the Christian movie,
yeah,
the director was like totally wet behind the ears. So he hung on to like little things, like if he got like some nomenclature or some kind of like whatever, he would just go after it. He would just oneer. He just like annoyed me with it. Like as soon as he heard somebody say, "Hey, it's a oneer," they were like, "Yeah, it's a oneer. It's a oneer." All he could do was walk around. Yeah, did you see that oneer? We did a oneer.
He wanted so badly to be in the club.
Fucking ruined the word.
I think it's
oneer.
cute.
I suppose it is. It's kind of cuter in the story than it was.
Yeah.
For me, it was more like, can we just fucking shoot it?
Anyway, every episode of Adolescence does that. The whole episode. It's incredible.
It's really
the amount of
it's an amazing accomplishment in every way, because it's not just that it's a oneer. It's that they pulled it off with utter perfection.
Well, I mean, they do edits, like they were talking about how they spliced it, but but it's just incredible to attempt
But
to rehearse everybody and get everybody set to do the right thing.
It's a continuous shot or a continuous motion of shots, and it's staggering. And what is, and you were just describing really what is the most remarkable about it, which is the writing and then the acting. Like the writing first. I mean, the writing is just fucking immaculate. It's just perfectly written.
Right.
And, it's everything. The dialogue. I mean, I'm proud of my dialogue. You know how I feel about dialogue. I feel like it's one of the more compelling ways to tell a story and to move character and people. I mean, we love hearing people speak. We've been our ears to the radio since those waves first, sprang. Right? You know what I mean? So the writing was just absolutely perfect. And then came the performances, which really, it's like, as dramatic as it is, it's like eating a slow, perfect dessert in terms of watching. Like, it's just so perfect. It's just everything tastes perfect. Even if
agree.
It's utterly bitter.
Yeah. I completely agree. I also really love the idea that it's such a heavy story. There's so much grief involved. There's so much tension. There's so much conflict. There's like really big stakes. And I love that they decided to tell that story in real time. So everything is moving at its normal pace and everything is like as slow as it goes too. And so you just really like it. It's always just such a major achievement whenever filmmakers or, TV or whatever can create a really immersive experience. And I found myself like entirely in the room the whole time.
It was heaven.
It was just amazing.
Heavenly little piece. Man.
And then also like, when they're not overbearing with like, too many edits and a overblown score or something. That's music to my ears too. Anyway, I loved it. They swept. No chance for anybody else in any of the categories.
We called it. We called it
when we saw it.
Yeah, it was like they're gonna win everything.
Yeah.
And they fucking won everything. And it's so funny because when we saw it, it was a long fucking time ago. There was a whole lot to come. And we were like, no, not really. They're gonna win everything.
Yeah, shame for the other guys because I'm sure they really they deserved it too.
Severance was a fucking amazing stuff, and
I generally don't like the idea of award shows because the people who lost, like, it's not like they didn't deserve to win. It's like I don't know why they're all
there's something tremendously stupid about them. There's no doubt. I mean, they're fucking they're award shows. They should be they're fucking so self-indulgent. I mean, they were literally designed to as a PR stunt. The first Oscars were because of Hollywood's reputation of being so
debauchery.
Yes, of their debauchery. Yeah. So they were like, well, how do we hide our debauchery?
We got to class this joint up a little bit.
We got to class it up. Exactly that. Put on, tuxedos, gowns, and give ourselves awards. And they have not stopped since. It's like taxes. As soon as you introduce a tax, it never goes away. If it's like a temporary tax, like income tax, for example, it's like that. They were like, oh, this award. Well, let's have more awards. We'll get another one. More dresses and more gowns. And
yeah, I just think that it's really distasteful to like compete when you're talking about art. I feel like that's just not how it's supposed to go at all. But whatever.
Yeah, it's there were only two. The despicable Woody Allen, though very talented, he's just so despicable. I mean, he's literally like making statements now that sound in the defense of Epstein.
Oh yeah, he's dropped the mask entirely. He's like, I don't have to pretend like I'm not criming. Like, I'm just gonna act like a guy who crimes sometimes and gets away with it.
I sometimes wonder if it's just him being spiteful because everyone's turned on him, so he just wants to he was like, yeah,
I'm sure
I'll help. He'd rather infest the wound than
dude. Everything he's ever written that was like autobiographical was spiteful.
Anyway, he disgusts me, and
he doesn't attend award shows.
I'm totally aligned with him on how he feels about award shows. Yeah. He and I are 100% on the same page there because he just won't even go to them. He fucking doesn't do it. But probably my favorite of them all is the insanely beautiful Marlon Brando. The way he treated the Oscars, was, I think will never be matched.
Well, also, I understand your suspicion of award shows because if you guys keep winning awards, then you won't be able to hide any more of the Canadian supremacy in the Hollywood system. The Canadian supremacy in media, the Canadians control all the media.
No, the Canadians they're absolutely a disgrace on this planet. They are, they're not to be trusted. They're here to steal Hollywood. They've been trying to steal Hollywood from Hollywood of the North. It all started with tax incentives.
Yeah, there's also
and now they have everything.
Isn't there a new Spinal Tap movie?
Yes, there's a new Spinal Tap movie.
See, so it's coming from all sides.
It's coming out from all sides. Is there Canadians on that?
They're Canadian, right?
I don't know. Are they? I don't think so. Christopher Guest isn't. I don't think Mike McKean is. Rob Reiner is not. No, I think they're American. By the way, that looks fucking so good.
Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap, yeah. The commercial was so hilarious.
Why were they so obsessed with Canada Day then?
They did this commercial with, how they're serving water now in aluminum cans, which, by the way, like about fucking time.
Oh, I see. This is where I'm confused.
What?
Okay, so the film portrays the band hailing from the UK. But 3 actors who play the principal band members, Guest, McKean, and Shearer, were born in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are they so obsessed with Canada Day? Why did they do a whole Canada Day
tour? This is the whole point. They're not Canadian. That was the whole fucking weirdest thing. What Angela's talking about is
That's why I thought that they were Canadian, because why else would you do that?
In 1990, whatever it was, Spinal Tap played all of Canada on Canada Day. They did this. It's true. In fact, they and the headliner then was the Tragically Hip. I went to this concert.
Oh, here's where I'm getting it.
Blue Rodeo.
The Canadian heavy metal band Anvil have been called the real Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay.
Based on the misadventures. What is this? God, I'm sorry. I lost it. Hang on. I have to find it. Okay, never mind. Let me find this. I don't want to hold everybody up.
They're all deep into Heat. Like, we're talking to ourselves, baby.
Okay, cool.
They're on it. I love it. They're deep. They're doing their own. The chat is fucking
Here
moving.
it is. Based on in a documentary Anvil, the story of Anvil. So people have been comparing them to this Canadian heavy metal band.
Anyway.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm wrong. I just wanted to know why I was wrong.
We've digressed too far on that anyway. All right.
It's the name of the game, baby. That's showbiz.
We got some tiny pineapples to hand out, obviously. I guess we should start with Heat.
Okay. Yes. I saw Heat for the first time.
Right?
And then I hadn't seen it before because everybody references it so much and shares all the scenes that are so great from it that I was like, okay, I get it. And it's like 2 hours and 50 minutes, so I have always...
By the way, it's totally free on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I should get the link and get it in the description. It is totally free. We watched a beautiful copy.
Yep.
I mean, it was reasonably beautiful.
Oh, it was very clear.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
So I had just neglected to spend 3 hours on a movie that I felt like I knew already.
Right, yeah.
I just really like I like it as a great example of one of the best heist movies. It's also a really great cat and mouse, like a cop versus career criminal type movie.
Yep.
I thought that the acting was very surprising. Like I've long been a fan of Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I've watched, I really enjoyed Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon. And I don't know what the hell happened to him. Sometime in the early 90s where he turned into this like cartoon character.
There are some really weird choices in this movie.
Holy shit, he's fucking weird in that movie.
Well, before we go into the critical side of things, did you like or love the movie?
I loved it.
How many tiny pineapples out of 5 tiny pineapples would you give Heat by Michael Mann?
I would give it 4.
4 tiny pineapples is a very good score.
I would give it 4. I actually didn't notice the runtime. It's really, really well done. Like, it really does move along. The pacing's great.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that there was anything going on that was too gratuitous. Although there were a few scenes that involved specifically Al Pacino, where he was doing weird shit. And I was like, why the fuck is this not on the cutting room floor?
Yeah. Well, because it was on.
Because it's Pacino.
Because it was on film, and and he was like every take he's probably throwing out some. Blah, 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 and you're just like, wow, you just had. Are you okay? Are we gonna be all right? Check to make sure that both eyes are closing at the same time.
Yeah, I wonder if
time.
there's like a blooper reel where everybody's reacting to how big Al Pacino gets.
Here's what I think. Can I go?
Yep.
Okay. Here's what I think. I think. Well, first of all, I was coming in with a 4. You made it a 4.5 for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. The nearly 3-hour runtime didn't feel like it, and why that's remarkable, and why I think that's a bigger achievement than I first gave it credit for, is because there's a lot of slow shit. There's a lot of just dialogue scenes between two talking heads, kind of, the shit I actually love, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I'd say like 7 out of 8 of the scenes I saw, were excellent. And I would say that even though Al Pacino popped his eyes out of his head far too many times in this movie, he also did deliver some really great scenes, like including the scene between De Niro and Pacino in Kate Mantilini. Although De Niro won the scene because De Niro wins every scene, Pacino still held his seat.
It was so frustrating because I was like, okay, obviously the filmmakers were like, yes, we get to put these two together. This is what everybody wants to see. And it was like a new version of Al Pacino that he had just invented because of Scent of a Woman that was this big success. And he kept going with it. And I think that what everybody wanted to see was pre-1990s Al Pacino with De Niro. And we didn't get to see that. Like, it was a big fucking shame. Like, you said that there was a point in Christopher Walken's career where he started to do that strange, like, voice inflection that he does. It's like strange.
Well, what he said was, I read an interview many, 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 many years ago, but he said, they'd asked about, like, him and his roles and his role choices. And he's like, I don't really make role choices now. Mostly I get hired to do the thing everyone wants me to do.
The Christopher Walken
which
talk.
is the Christopher Walken. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. It's so strange. And he didn't used to.
And that was Pacino after Scent of a Woman.
Like, he never did that in Deer Hunter. He just decided to do that in his career, and then he did it forevermore. And same thing with Pacino. He was like, he did Scent of a Woman. He won a fucking Oscar for it. And then he was like, okay, this is me now. And it was such a bummer because it's really, really weird. And the character that he is creating, that cartoonish, over-the-top character, is completely drowning out any of the other choices he could have made that are like believable as the character he's playing in that scene.
Yeah. Anyway, for me, acting was incredibly great, like pretty much across the board, with the exception that Pacino started tripping over his own sort of cliche. But other than that, De Niro was absolutely fucking stellar. Val Kilmer was absolutely fucking stellar. All the women were fucking brilliant. Mm-hmm. And the casting was really great. Like, there was so many great little Easter eggs like that I completely forgot. I saw the movie in the theater, obviously, but now looking back on it and seeing, even Natalie Portman, I completely forgot that she was in the movie. It's like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. The daughter, Natalie Portman. I forgot. Forgot all about the whole like bathtub scene, and I forgot all about that shit.
She was the go-to for, like, if you want to have a little girl play like the gnarliest role that you could ever put a little girl in. She's the one that you cast.
Yeah. Like, obviously not spoiling on that moment. Just to, I had one creative gripe with the movie, like one directing gripe with the movie. It really bothered me. Like, it bothered me quite a bit. Can you try to
clear your throat?
I am. Thank you. I'm just getting a beverage ready here. I apologize.
No, just try and like make a cough or something.
So anyway, your
little gripe about the movie, you said. So
he had a budget, like he had a crazy budget, right? Like, I was, imagining like how he pitches the movie. He's like, all right, so in the budget, I'm gonna totally destroy 50 to 150 vehicles. I haven't figured it all out, but a lot of cars are going to get destroyed.
To begin with. I mean, that's just basic.
Yeah. Opening shot, sequence, probably going to go through 40, 50 cars. We're talking Cadillacs. We want it all. We want some classic cars in there. But then couple trucks maybe. But then when it came to doing some night works where they're driving, they sped the film up. And they weren't even, like, he wasn't even shooting at 60 frames or 120 frames, which, by the way, I can understand why he wouldn't.
Oh, that's so funny. You're talking about a scene where where a guy's like rushing to get someplace.
Yeah.
And the camera's out the front of his car.
The
and they just sped the film.
They just sped up the film.
Like, that'll do.
But it was shot at, like, it's very clear that it's shot at 24 frames.
Yes.
So if it's shot at 24 frames per second and then they sped it up, it looked amateur.
I know, that's really funny.
It looked like a completely different movie.
I also noticed this one time.
It took me out. Like, I was literally like, holy fuck, bro. If I did that, if I was teaching it at the University of Georgia and a kid did that, I'd be like, wink, wink, in the future, because it was just really jaw-dropping bad. Now, in defense of Michael Mann, because you'd ask why, in a very difficult situation, it's a night scene. And for whatever reason, I don't understand why they couldn't drive fast at night. I don't understand it. Why he couldn't speed. Or I guess I would imagine that they went out, thought they had the speed that would fit with the pacing of the movie. Because, it is in that moment where, momentum is building all around.
And it wasn't good enough.
Oh, what? It's just a big, giant sore. So that's my only critique. Otherwise, Michael Mann, he directed a masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, it's a 4.5. I think 4.5s are relative masterpieces.
I also noticed, since we're doing critiques, I noticed that the colorist had issues. I guess the director didn't notice.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where De Niro is talking to a guy about a potential heist job. Okay, and it's a close up. They're talking on a porch, and then further out in the yard, John Voight is on the telephone, so they go to a wide shot. And so the scene where De Niro is on more of a close-up, the sky behind them is blue, but in the wide shot, everything has been color corrected to be yellow for the John Voight scene. And they just go back and forth like this. And you're like, is this the same location? Why is it yellow that day? Why is it yellow or blue?
Tom Sizemore was so good. It was kind of sad to see, like, Sizemore and to see Val Kilmer. I think that's the first time I've watched both of them since their passing.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was devastating.
Yeah.
There's in the big shootout scene, I almost want to, like, slow it down and really pick it up. You can really tell, I don't know, man, especially in Heat, you can tell that Val Kilmer is Juilliard trained. He's just everything he does is perfect, no matter what. And his whole body does the acting, right?
Brilliant.
But just like in the shootout scene, just his little grin when he sees that he's being targeted by the cops.
Yeah.
He does a little grin like, oh, fuck yeah. Now I get to fucking, now chaos gets to start. It's just such an amazing choice. I just adore him. He's wonderful.
One of the best to ever do it. I love him desperately and eternally. And he was absolutely great in this movie. So yeah, 4.5 tiny pineapples, man.
Are you trying to conclude this? I'm not done talking about it.
All right, we continue on with Heat, 4.5 tiny pineapples.
Another thing I noticed is that I had never seen Robert De Niro kiss in a movie before.
Oh.
And it was weird. I've always thought that Robert De Niro was very attractive. Like, even middle-aged.
I'm changing my score to 4.
Even middle-aged Robert De Niro could get it. But then I saw him kiss in this movie, and I was like, oh, maybe that's why you haven't been kissing in other movies.
He's very handsome in this movie.
He's very handsome in this movie.
And he has a very good body.
Does he?
Yeah, he has. You didn't see the shirt off? He's ripped. He's like Cape Fear ripped.
Cape Fear. Oh, yeah. He's really good in that one, too.
Yeah.
Yep. I also, oh, yeah. And then I want to say more about Val Kilmer in the final scene. His face when he's injured.
Yes.
And he gets delighted. Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but the way his face changes.
Seems you already did. I don't think that you've taken anything away in the experience by saying what you're saying. So, yeah. Seriously, dude. Conley DiCaprio says, yeah, Robert De Niro, so fine. That's why he's a new father at 83.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I mean, he's not anymore. You know what I mean?
He's a new father.
No.
He's not 83 anymore.
He's not fine anymore.
I guess he is, bro, because that guy's still procreating. First of all, I was amazed when I met this guy named Pat, who I loved and who passed because he died of old age. He died at 87 years old, and
And he was just a guy you knew.
he's just a guy I knew. Well, he was boyfriend to my ex's grandmother.
That's cute.
I loved him. He was a great dude. He was just fucking fun to hang with. And he just had his own little stories because, you know, he was like in the war, but not in the war. He was like basically on a boat, like outside of a harbor after the war ended, but technically it was still the war. It's funny.
Yeah, war periphery.
Yeah, his World War II stories are like really lame. But but he was a really cool cat. And I asked him, I was like, just out of curiosity, I was like, yo, when did you stop having sex? And he was like,
You asked him that?
yeah. Yeah. I was like, well, I asked him if he did. I was like, do you? And he's like, no. And I was like, ah. You know, I was like bummed. Well, no, because he's like, he was like my tour guide into my elderly years. I'm like,
Tell me about the future.
Tell me, how long will I be able to make love? So he, at 78, I think it was, he said, had my big moment there, and it was almost my last one. He was like, I just felt like everything was I was about to die.
He felt it in his ticker?
He felt like he was going to die. He was like, if I do this one more time, I die.
Oh my God.
So he stopped.
That's what happens,
He abstained at that point
Yikes.
because he felt like his ticker could not handle it. And I was like, so I immediately did the math. I was like, okay, so yes, and I'm just,
Like how many
holy
more years?
crap, man. Yeah, that's a long road. So
now you're doing the same thing with De Niro?
De Niro just crushed that. He just like crushed that. He's like, not only am I having sex, I'm having babies.
You know, though, he's like, he has like a bunch of kids, right? And that he's still making them,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's diluting his inheritance for the others.
They're all just like, would you
They're
stop?
like, congratulations.
All right, this is ridiculous already.
Yay, a new sibling.
All right, I guess I'm not going to buy that house in Florida after all.
Anyway.
We watched another movie. Can we move on yet?
Yes. Okay. So.
Well, John Voight, I will say about this. I think Fell Bombing is saying something. Angela, I think John Voight's character had moved locations, if I remember correctly. So his time of day was different at the point. I could be wrong. Oh, that's interesting.
No, they drove to a place together, and then they left the place together, De Niro and John Voight. So the time wouldn't have been any different. It was
I totally missed all
from
this.
the porch. De Niro's talking to the guy in the wheelchair. I can't remember. He's a really great actor. I can't remember his name. But De Niro's talking to a guy on the porch in a wheelchair about this next job. And then you can see from De Niro's perspective that John Voight is on the phone further out on the lawn, right? And then the camera cuts to a wide shot where you can see John Voight on the lawn on the phone with De Niro behind him talking to the guy in the wheelchair at the same time. But John Voight's wide shot is yellow, and De Niro's like close-up shot, the sky's blue. And I was just like, that's continuity problem. I shouldn't have even brought it up. It's so nitpicky. It's so stupid. I don't really care about that kind of stuff.
Alyssa's asking if anyone's going to see Leo's new movie. I would if I was going to theaters. I definitely would. Just to be angry at all of them.
Yep.
It's like people are saying Sean Penn's like delivering one of his finest, and I'm a fan of his acting, like big time fan of his acting. That guy can transfer emotion, you know. He gets me there, in nearly everything I've ever seen him in. So I would go see that in a minute. Yeah, obviously not.
Do you like Benicio del Toro?
I like Benicio del Toro.
Me too.
So I like the cast. I mean, that cast is good. I mean, Leo, he can suck a bagga. But, he's still a good actor, and I could tolerate it, I think, because I feel so much better now that I've written To Real Hollywood Memoir, which brings you this live.
Get it in where all fine bookstores. Get it in all fine. We have to hash this out. We have to figure this out. What is the script? How do we market it? What do we say? What's the commercial? What's the tagline?
I don't think there's anyone here to market the book to. I want to send one to Cosmic Urgency, but he won't email me. So I'd send one, and I would put to Cosmic Urgency, which is a very long thing to have to write out.
It's because Cosmic Urgency is in the Witness Protection Program.
You might be right. Why don't you... Oh, so do you want to go to chat first? before we move on to the next Tiny
Sure.
Pineapples, or should we just go to the next Tiny Pineapples? Let's just do the next one. The next one is The Conjuring.
We watched The Conjuring. On Saturday, I really wanted to watch a scary movie.
So we watched The Conjuring, and
I find them to be comforting. And then most recently, we just read the news that the ninth sequel, no, I guess it's the 8th sequel, but the 9th installment of the Conjuring franchise has made $315 million or some number
so we're
like
gonna
that.
just work our way up, I suppose.
Yeah,
until
it was like,
becomes
okay,
intolerable.
this is obviously super interesting, and it's 9 of them. And I was like, well, I guess I better start. So we watched it. I was really surprised by how original and fun it was.
Well, I mean, I would argue about the originality, but I wouldn't argue about how fun it was. I had a good time with that movie, although it only gets 3 Tiny Pineapples for me.
Yeah, me too.
But I had a good time with it. So I want everyone to know that when I give something 3 Tiny Pineapples, that's a recommend C for me. You know, when I give something 4.5 like Heat, that's like, if you don't watch this,
You're missing out.
You're living a lesser life than the rest of us who have. But I thought that The Conjuring was a really well-directed movie. And I didn't know, by the way, who this director was. In fact, after we'd finished, I said, the one thing I said that was stand out about it was I really liked the directing. Turns out this guy's a fucking horror kind of genius guy, right? He did Saw, which I loved as far as the first one. I don't know. That's another one that you have to like dedicate a lifetime to
Oh yeah,
watch
I haven't seen any of those either.
Well, the first one's fucking great. We'll watch that. Well, that's on the list maybe this weekend. We got to fill up the gore from now to our wedding anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. Angela and I were married on Halloween.
I married us on Halloween.
I was like, Angela, when do you want to get married? Because
It was also a blue moon, which I thought was really cool. So anyway, I just wanted another reason to celebrate my favorite holiday, Halloween.
So
And it's spooky season, so we're going to watch more horror.
As we move towards the spooky days and lovely memories, we'll fill them with some horror films. So maybe The Saw is next. But loved The Conjuring. Thought that the directing was really great. One thing that a gripe I have is how they use everybody else's shit all the time. And this one, they used the birds and they used, I mean, the whole thing it was like Poltergeist meets The Exorcist. Right. And even like when the Vera Farmiga, is that her name?
Yeah.
Isn't that Aunt?
That's Farmiga. Farmiga is something. I don't know what it means.
It's not Farmiga. She, not the aunt, she, even when she came to the house the first time, she gave me, even it's not Zelda Rubinstein. If you remember Zelda Rubinstein, she played the sort of very small, mystic medium woman. I have some great stories about her. I knew her and loved her. Anyway, I digress momentarily. I felt like Farmiga kind of had that same kind of air of, it'll come in, I can feel it. And then, like they have Carolyn in this movie and Carol Ann in Poltergeist. And, obviously, that moment, like everything was, and then everything goes quiet and then the chair goes up. That's straight out of The Exorcist. So there was just like straight up things from all these movies.
Yeah, you're right.
And I got a little and they kind of piled it on in the third act. Like it was like leading up to it was kind of, I think this is where you get the feeling of originality because, the story was unfolding in a way that was, it was like, if not original, certainly refreshing in its tale. It wasn't like in its telling, it wasn't like anything, it didn't feel like an entirely rehashed situation. And then it kind of beat me over the head with the stuff that I felt was like, oh, look, it's birds. And
also the guy was like, I'm not experienced enough, I'm not prepared to do an exorcism, but nobody else can, so I'm gonna have to do it. That's very Father Karras in The Exorcist. No, I agree. I sort of recant my originality comment about it. It wasn't very original, but I did enjoy it. I was into it the whole time.
Me too.
And I really like the concept. I know that it's based on a true story, or at least true characters, where they're a husband and wife team of like ghost hunter type
Ed
people.
and Lorraine, right?
Yeah. So I really like their story. I think it's really cool.
Cosmic Gurney just said Ed and Lorraine were trash in real life. So what? Trashy people are cool. We
just saw this documentary
I come
about
from straight up, like, I don't know. I shouldn't say this because I have family and I love them. But I definitely don't come from anything. I come from what people call trash that I call wonderful. So,
well, it might be that, we might be using the word trash when they're talking about, a lot of people think that these people are con artists.
Well, trash. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's different. Yeah. If they were like, I see. Yeah. Well,
like if you don't believe in any of this paranormal stuff, then you're going to think that anybody that works in these fields is a, scammer.
Well, obviously it's based on a true story. What was hilarious about that was like, it's based on a true story, which was just so, get the fuck out of here. And then at the end, they show like a picture of them as if that's like the proof that it all happened or something.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, here's a picture of them. Like, oh, that none of this shit happened to.
Well, we did see a documentary about them where they went and investigated a case where it was a bunch of children who lived in this family, and one of them was possessed, and they had to like figure out what the situation with the house and the possession was. So that was kind of loosely based on that.
Did somebody say something about like talking Latin backwards? Like,
yes.
How do you fucking figure that out? If you spoke in English backwards, I would have said something like you're talking Latin forwards. Like okay, let's pretend you can fucking listen to Latin and just hear it and go, yeah, that's fucking Latin conversationally.
Yeah, no, but backwards, you wouldn't know it.
Backwards?
I know.
I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a backwards Latin right there.
You're making that up.
You're making that up. That's just a fucking straight line.
I also thought that The Conjuring did too much. Like, it's very, very clear that they were setting up a bunch of sequels and spin-offs and stuff, because like, why the hell are we doing a haunting and a haunted doll and a possessed parent and all of this, like all at the same time, and the birds and the, pick one. I really want to, indulge in all of the great horror movies this month.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll dig one out. Cosmic Jersey doesn't like Saw. I did. I thought it was great. Wait, I think that's the one. Isn't that the one where they're like, never mind, I can't. It's a fucking spoiler. I can't.
No, it's not a spoiler. Like, the concept of Saw is that they're all held captive and they have to like play a game to get out.
That's the one I want to watch. I like that one. You'll like that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You'll like it. It's a good
That's
movie.
also,
Cosmic
I think,
Jersey's
based
on.
on a real story. There was a guy who did like it was like, what do they call it? Magic box? Some sort of like this guy held captives and then strapped them into a chair and then like had this like speakers talking to them when they'd wake up. It's horrible. In the middle of the desert. Somebody finally escaped and led investigators to the location. That really happened.
Wow.
Oh, you were talking about the third season of Monsters. Is that what the series is called?
I think it's something like
where
that.
Where they do serial killers?
Yeah, with Charlie Hunnam playing Ed. What's his name?
I think it's Hunnam.
Okay, but what's the other guy's name?
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
So the first season, it was about Jeffrey Dahmer.
It's fucking Charlie. His name is Charlie, and he was in, that fucking biker movie. Biker
Sons of
series.
Anarchy.
I liked it.
You like Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first season was about Jeffrey Dahmer. The second season was about the Menendez brothers. This season is about Ed Gein. And I am a little concerned that they cast someone who's hot. Because we don't need Ed Gein to be hot.
We don't need those thoughts. Wow, you got him with Ted Bundy. Bite me.
Who played Ted Bundy that was hot?
Oh, Ted Bundy was hot.
Ted Bundy was not hot.
Well, he was considered handsome.
Yeah. By like
Not hot.
1970s standards.
Whatever.
Which means he had like teeth.
Crooked ones. Hey, well, me too. I got bad teeth. What are you going to do about it? Just deny me my existence? Throw me away?
That's right.
Like I'm worthless?
That's exactly what I'm doing. Obviously.
Why, Angela? Why?
I'm Bobo is Canadian too. Did you know that?
No.
See? You guys are ganging up on
my brethren. My sisterin. Just outside of Toronto, is that what I saw? I saw somebody say that. Was that I Am Bobo?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
You don't have to. I believe that's what was said.
Okay. I Am Bobo's bringing up this...
I lived in Mississauga for a minute.
Justin Baldoni news.
I know.
Did you hear about it?
I've been looking for this because I did see something coming up about them getting new lawyers, but I couldn't find... The only thing I could find was that they got Taylor Swift's lawyer 3 months ago. which I didn't know about either.
He has expanded his legal team, Justin Baldoni,
Sounds like he's got a lot of money.
to include a trial lawyer. And because
It's going to trial.
Well, yeah, but also because like Brian Friedman fucking sucks at his job. So like
He's going to be sitting next to Justin Baldoni as co-defendant.
I wonder if he gets a new lawyer, right? This new lawyer is going to show up, who's apparently really, really awesome. He's going to show up and be like, okay, we're going to have to do everything completely differently. I don't know how to dig you out of this hole, but we've got to try right now.
Let's start by firing Brian Friedman.
Yeah.
I don't know if I brought it up before. It's something that's been on my mind, though. Like, at what point do you sever the ties?
Yeah. Also, I'm Bobo said Justin Baldoni hires Diddy's lawyer, and I think that this person is this the person that represented Diddy? I can't remember.
Well, I don't know. Diddy has a lot of lawyers. Was it as a criminal?
Right.
Was it his criminal defense attorney, or was it his litigation attorney, or am I wrong in that he's got an all-in-one guy? Oh yeah, no, my guy does everything. He's my tax guy. He's my family guy. He's my everything guy.
Anyway, I don't think that Justin Baldoni hiring new lawyers is big news because it doesn't change the facts of his case.
It does to the extent, at least, that it shows his vulnerability.
Yeah,
right?
you don't expand your legal team because you're doing great.
Can you remind me?
Yes.
We have some great comments from people who can't be with us
Oh,
at the live.
great.
And I haven't addressed them directly. I will, but I also want to talk to them in the live because they watch afterwards. So it's
Well, do you want to do that now?
future people, not right this second.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a bit of a legal question about this new filing from the New York Times to Judge Lyman about Justin Baldoni.
Okay.
So I saw this over the weekend. Oh, I Am Bobo says he's near Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. Near Toronto. I also lived near Toronto momentarily, just for a very small amount of time.
Did you like it?
I'm not a real East Coast guy. I didn't hate it. I liked TO. I liked going down into Yonge Street and stuff. I was a kid, Yonge Street was like, I was from Winnipeg, so Toronto was this overwhelmingly big place,
I bet.
I'm a West Coast junkie, really.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I don't really understand this. I don't really understand what the New York Times is asking for here. They want a judgment. Okay, so you recall that the New York Times filed a motion to dismiss, and they prevailed. So Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against the New York Times was dismissed.
Correct.
But here they're talking to the judge, asking for a judgment. And they're saying that typically a judgment would occur after a trial, but there's so many things to sort out that the New York Times is asking the judge to just decide on a judgment now beforehand so that the New York Times can just get out of any of this. This is being prolonged for a really long time. We shouldn't even be in this anymore. If you could just grant us a judgment, that'd be great. I don't understand that. I thought that when a lawsuit is dismissed, that's it.
I don't understand it either. There might be something more to it than I know, I suppose. But yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Here's the last. This thing's 10 pages, so I won't read the whole thing. I guess I don't understand. Okay. Argument is their final section in this filing.
Okay.
All of the requirements of Rule 54B are met here, and the details of this case make it ripe for the court to enter a partial final judgment. As to the first Gannett factor, that's a reference to another law. This case unquestionably involves multiple claims brought against different parties. The Wayfair parties brought defamation, civil extortion, and other claims against Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and Vision PR stemming from their conduct during and after filming It Ends With Us, as well as defamation, false light, promissory fraud, and breach of implied contract claims against the New York Times. Stemming from the article, Lively also brought claims against Wayfair defendants for SH, infliction of emotional distress, among other things. As to the second factor, if a decision ends the litigation of that claim on the merits and leaves nothing for the court to do but execute the judgment entered on that claim, then the decision is final. Here, the claims against the Times were finally decided by the court's June 9th order, which dismissed those claims and denied the Wayfair parties' request to further amend their complaint. On the third factor, there's no reason for the court to delay in entering judgment in favor of the Times and against the Wayfarer parties. In making this determination, courts must take into account judicial administrative interests as well as the equities involved. For example, courts examine whether the nature of the claims already determined was such that no appellate court would have to decide the same issues more than once, even if there were subsequent appeals. So they're saying this isn't going to be appealed on. Here, the claims against the Times and the remaining parties are separate. The Times is a third-party news organization that was sued based on the content of the article it wrote. Indeed, exemplifying that the Times is differently situated from Lively and the other defendants. The Wayfarer parties initially sued the Times in an entirely separate action in California, blah, blah, blah. So what are they asking for here? Skipping to the end, for the foregoing reasons, the Times respectfully request that the court enter a judgment in favor of the Times and against the Wayfarer parties under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 64B in accordance with the June 9th order. So I guess there's more to do? There's a judgment now? They're not asking for an award.
I guess they're looking for some kind of judgment that says that they didn't. Not that their case got dismissed, but that there's an actual judgment that says that there was nothing to. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I need to clear my name, sir.
I'm actually really curious about whether this means that the Times is thinking of pursuing legal action against Baldoni and Wayfarer. Right? Because they would need a judgment to be able to claim that they were wrongfully sued. Whatever, slap suit. Not slap, I guess, because they're not victims. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I wanted to bring that to you. That was new.
I'm sorry I can't be more helpful because I don't know what the fuck any of that means. I have no idea. I'm really surprised by that. I thought after it was dismissed that they got what they needed. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, some people are helping us with this information in the chat. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Renata said he got Baldoni got Diddy's lawyer, Shapiro Bach.
Yes. Okay. By the way,
Stephen Bach is a criminal expert, one of the top trial lawyers in the country.
Yeah. So I know who he is, and as far as that goes, some people, I saw somebody saying that they think that they got him because they're going to try and pursue something criminally regarding Jennifer Abel's phone, which is just hilarious, by the way. You know what's so funny about that? It's like, oh, okay, so you don't want to talk about what was on the phone? You don't want to talk about what was on the fucking phone, right? Which is you guys conspiring with each other to smear a woman who filed an SH complaint?
No, I love this so much. Everybody's talking about how it was like it should be inadmissible because the evidence was obtained some sort of like improper way, which isn't true. But nobody seems to want to talk about how nobody is denying that the damning evidence that was found on those phones is real and true. You know?
No.
Like that's obviously the relevant portion of this thing. Like never in my life have I ever heard about like a case, you know, like a criminal case or whatever, where they're like, here's this evidence that definitely proves that the bad guy did it, but it was obtained improperly. Like never have I ever cared. That's for the court to care about. That's for the trial, you know, there was a lot of stuff that Furman collected that was inadmissible because because he fucked up. There's a lot of cases where the crime scene is mishandled, and so that stuff is inadmissible. But as a spectator on this side who's not involved in the court or the legal process, I've never cared about whether something was inadmissible. I'm always like, does it exist? Does it prove that somebody did something wrong? And in this case, Justin Baldoni's publicists are like admitting it all over the fucking place.
Yeah. It's pretty fucked up.
Austin said it's normal and typical to have a trial lawyer represent you and another lawyer handle the first half of the case.
Oh.
I also think this is no big deal. This seems like something.
I had no idea.
I feel like
that's normal. That sounds like a grift to me.
Justin Baldoni's legal team seems to be getting him into a lot more trouble with the judge than they should. And so it's possible that they're bringing in some people to act more professionally. And I'm not surprised about that.
All right. Well, I mean, cool. I don't think it's a big deal. I personally didn't think it was a big deal when I heard it. Yeah, whatever. You know, you got a fucking big time attorney. Sorry, I just an audio adjustment. Of course, Diddy's got the best attorney in the country. You know, they go where the money is. So, look, I hired a trial attorney right out of the gate. Well, I say I didn't fucking hire anybody. We had a trial attorney right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. We had Burt Fields, the dude. I mean, he definitely pushes the settlements, but he's a trial attorney. He was ready to go if he actually, he was known for being a trial attorney, and our second attorneys were trial attorneys. So I wouldn't have, I've never even heard of trying to find an attorney to settle the case. Like, I suppose if there was something already set up, like some kind of mediation or arbitration or something.
Also, I feel like at this stage that ship has sailed. I don't think anybody's going to settle this case.
No, it's a wrap.
Yeah, so there's no reason why
That's
they would.
why they got a trial attorney.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly why they got a trial attorney. Because fucking Brian Freeman would get, that would be just a clown show, dude. That would be hilarious.
What?
Brian Freeman in a trial. I suspect.
He would be so unlikable, so instantly unlikable to a jury.
Yeah.
I was actually super surprised to learn that matters so much. Because I like to think that if you get seated in a jury, then you're going to really try and lean into being impartial. But apparently it's like a really, really big deal.
He might become party to this case still.
Who?
Brian Freeman.
I know.
He might find himself on the judgment end.
Dude, he might get sued by fucking Baldoni.
You're not wrong. He definitely
everything.
will if he becomes a defendant. You can almost guarantee that they're going to start
eating each other.
Malpractice suit.
God. Amazing.
Well, you go to an attorney for advice.
Yep.
When they don't give it to you.
Yeah, and he led him down entirely the wrong path. Okay, Cosmic Urgency wants to know, this is off topic, okay?
Okay.
Are you going to see Heat 2 if it's true that Leo is starring in it?
Yeah.
You are? Why'd you say it like that?
Because I'm not fucking happy about it, Angela.
He does a lot of these things, though, where early announcements is that he's cast in something so that they can make a lot of money, and then it turns out that he's not cast in the thing, he's just producing the thing. So I think that they do that. That's kind of like a tactic.
Right.
It brings like big eyeballs, big money, lots of interest. And then he's like, oh, actually, I gave it to this other actor so I could do something else.
I just read a headline that said that Leo said to somebody that he's now like, as he gets older, he wants to like be more selective in the roles he takes. And I'm like,
oh, yeah?
When were you not?
Right.
I didn't see you in the Kool-Aid movie. What are you talking about?
He wants to be more selective
You haven't played a superhero yet?
Well, that's so funny, too, because
Pedro had like 6 movies out this summer.
I know.
That's
right.
a guy fucking putting it out. And I get it, dude. He didn't hit until he was like in his fucking mid-40s. He was like, dude, let's go. Filmography.
I know, but it's also really hilarious, too. It's like not everybody can fucking afford to hire one actor for $30 million. And that's what Leo charges. So, yeah, he's not like getting offers left and right, dude. Not everybody can fucking afford him. What do you mean he has to be selective?
Dude, I just whistled, as you all heard. And then my dog, who was sleeping, turned back and looked at me with the reddest, deepest, looked like just been drinking for days eyes. She just looked back with these and they were kind of hateful,
You woke her up, dude.
And then she just turned back slowly and just lowered her head back to where it was.
I know it's true because he whistled, so you can't possibly have been talking to another person. You were talking to her.
What the fuck are you bringing me into this for?
That's really funny.
Thank you for that interlude. I appreciate you.
Okay, Cosmic Urgency has also said, I don't like Saw. You should see Starry Eyes.
All right, write that one down.
The filmmaker, I think is the director. Maybe it's a writer-director, too. He was a customer at the Bourgeois Pig when he made Starry Eyes.
Oh, yeah?
He was really excited about it. He was, like, beaming. He was, like, he really appreciated how it was turning out. He was super excited about it.
I'll see it. I'll watch it.
And it turned into, like, a big deal.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. He was a nice guy.
That's great. I want one of my things to turn into a big deal. I'm ready for it.
You're a big deal. You.
I'm really not.
What do you mean? You're the Dale Wheatley.
It's important that everyone knows that I answer you with the reality that I'm not, so that people aren't like coming to this live and then leaving. They go, they're fun, but I think he's conning her. I think it's the grift. He's grifting her, I think.
Something off about her.
She thinks he's like really successful, but it's not.
You're successful in my heart.
Oh, there's like a really cheesy 80s lyric for sure somewhere that's successful in my heart.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Let's see.
Any Conjuring love out there?
Nope.
No Conjuring love, huh? Couldn't conjure any love. Well, that's sad.
Renata has some more to say about this New York Times filing.
Let's hear it.
The New York Times is waiting for the resolution of all the disputes since the case was consolidated. Why Baldoni sued everybody collectively. The lawsuits were consolidated. So as long as Blake's claims against Baldoni goes on, everybody is tied to the lawsuit. New York Times asks for their part to be over. That is a great explanation.
Thank you.
So they're like, get
me out of this. I still don't understand why it would be but I guess I understand to some extent at least, but they weren't brought into it by Blake Lively, so that's what confuses me.
I wonder if Leslie Sloan's going to ask for the same thing. Renata said that after they lose, Sarowitz is going to unleash hell on everyone.
Is that right?
I wonder what's going to happen after. I can't wait to find out. They're going to lose so big. I know it. Feldbaumling said Friedman is tainted by his public comments. It would look horrible if the Lively team started playing examples of his part of the smear campaign. Oh my God, do you think they're going to? Like at trial?
I would.
That would be a delightful day.
Yeah, how they did it with Karen Reed,
Yes.
Karen Reed, just like, okay, and this is clip blah, blah, blah from, the blah, blah, blah show. Yeah.
Yeah, like set it up to the jury. Just be like, okay, just to remind everybody, what we're alleging here is a smear campaign done through the media. And here is the lawyer.
Here's the smearing.
Here's the lawyer for the defense.
Allow us to present to you the smearing.
Amazing. Let's see. Austin said, well, the antics of the one attorney isn't attached to the potentially gray behavior of another attorney.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you do get, I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. I think that, in the court, yeah, and maybe in the general sort of public view of it, I suppose that could be true.
Austin said, hot potato liability. It's not me, it's you. Grab it. This is really great. So Lee asked,
that's really funny.
Did Friedman ever get sanctioned? And Renata said, my bet is that sanctions will come after the jury's decision or sentence.
That makes sense. That makes sense that it would be, it makes some sense. I don't know. I have no experience in that. I have no, like, everything I'm thinking about is imaginary. I have nothing empirical to rely on there.
Okay, so would you like to talk to some people who were watching and leaving comments not in the live, after the live?
Sure. Let me see if I can, I just thought that while I was sitting here, so I don't even know if I have any really, so.
You don't know how to locate them?
Oh, well, here's some funny ones. This is on the Horny Growl episode, which, by the way, I've been cutting it all day. I'm going to cut into the night because I haven't posted anything on YouTube in forever except for some shorts way back when, but I just wasn't satisfied with I didn't love that workflow. I wasn't liking the product as much as, so anyway, whatever. So I'm cutting together the Horny Growl episode. It was it's like a really fun episode. Everyone's really great in it, in terms of like, the whole energy around it and the feedback coming in. I don't know. It just, good vibes. So this person is the Fixerer. Isn't that a cool name?
The Fixerer?
The Fixerer. They don't say why, but they say they can't come to, they're like, they can't come to the lives for some reason.
That's okay.
I don't know if she's said why. I'm saying she, but I don't know. Oh, because there's a woman in the picture. Mm-hmm. That's why Angela says that, she's like, the Horny Growl, I'm dead. But when you said he's not in character, he's turned on, it doesn't matter because that is going to be solved with one line of dialogue, as the great Jeff Magel would say, Thank God we invented the. No, just kidding. But we will definitely be on about how it's his method or whatnot. Method acting.
Oh, I know. It was really amazing how, like, when he was doing promotion for the film, Justin Baldoni sat for these reporters in this interview, and he was talking about how it was really challenging for him to be the director and the actor because he would often get lost. Like, he would try something. This is him saying this. I have the clip somewhere, so we could cut this in just to see if I'm quoting it right.
Okay.
He was talking about how, as Ryle, he would try something, and he would really rely on Blake Lively to push back and let him know he had gone too far. And I was like, there it is. That's his fucking defense. He's going to claim he's a fucking method actor and that he was just in character.
Yeah, but
and that none of the things that he was doing as a director could be criticized because he's just playing his character as an abusive boyfriend.
Well, all I'll tell you is that they'll be able to put up method actors, acting teachers, and they'll be able to tell you that method acting, there's no method out there that has you directing there is no method for that.
Not.
That there's no method there.
Unless you're playing a director.
Literally methodless acting.
Yeah, right.
Okay? That's not gonna, no. Fucking no.
So I couldn't believe that he had actually said it, where he was like, I would go too far and I would rely on Blake Lively to let me know that I'd gone too far. Like, motherfucker, what about figuring out, like, maybe communicating with people so that you don't upset them? Like, what about you having control of your own actions and maybe not putting somebody through that?
Look, they said, the Fixer said, this episode is epic. I've listened twice now while at work, and I'm going to put it on again tomorrow. What? I guess I better like that.
That's amazing. That's so great.
Krista Rayleigh, who does sometimes make it to the show, said, the horny growl has me rolling. I will forever associate Baldoni with the horny growl.
Ugh.
Dude, that thing, man.
It was a horrible
I'm cutting
snap.
it today, and I'm still like, oh, my God.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It is absolutely.
Dude, he did that right in Blake Lively's face.
It's grapey.
It's right in her face, too. Like, that was meant for her. That wasn't meant for anybody else in the room. Like, he did that right in at her. Where he was like, you can hear me. I'm
like
doing
an audible pheromone. He thought,
horrible.
It was like
an audible pheromone.
So they're going to always associate him. It's amazing how some people watch the video and say it proves there was no SH, yet others can clearly see that Blake is uncomfortable and trying to keep Baldoni at bay. I mean, it's so funny that they can't, because she's literally like, no, don't give it to him. Like, she's literally, keep your fucking lips off my lips, bro. I don't want any of that. It's not in the script. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm through kissing you, dude.
I'm done with that, dude.
Horrible.
I'm not your set girlfriend.
Awful, dude. It's also like, that was all of that dance scene happened after a day where she was saying that he did too much kissing in a scene. So she was like, you're not fucking macking on me anymore today. I'm done. You don't need it for the scene. So that's all. That's it. You get what you get. Oh, Renata said, I watched It Ends With Us after the Horny Growl podcast. I think I need to. I think I need to watch it. I think we have to we'll rent it or something, because I want to know what made it in. I want to know how different it is from the book. You know, what kind of liberties he took.
Go do your own research, which, by the way, I actually didn't. I did a live with them. Very small channel, like bigger than ours, but
who?
We little channels unite. Go do your own research.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about... I said, I think we need to watch It Ends With Us. And I thought you literally were saying, go do your own research. I was like, I will.
No, I said we'll rent it. Just saying it's interesting to get my perspective on it. I never thought about it only being a few seconds. That's the thing that probably drives me more crazy about that whole... I mean... And the directing was just like over directed.
I know. And people are taking this, that dance sequence as like at face value instead of critically recognizing that he was doing a slow motion shot that was only supposed to be a few seconds. There's no reason to I just love that you're a filmmaker and we can ask you about all this stuff, that there's no reason to put her through all of that. If she's uncomfortable for even a fucking second, just call cut and use what you got already, you know?
Yeah. 2 seconds of slow-mo is an amazing, so it's even a smaller amount of actual time.
Yeah, right.
So 2 seconds of slow-mo it depends on their frame rate, but, let's say it's 60 frames, then it's actually a second, or you know, at 29 or less than, you know, with some drops, or it's, you know, maybe they shoot it at 120 or something, or 180 or whatever, and even if they spun it that fast, or if they did, now you're looking at like a third of a second. I mean, obviously, I think it's probably more like 60 frames is probably what they did, and maybe they went a little higher. Sometimes, you know, they'll go a little higher, but anyway, fucking ridiculous. Yeah, 2 seconds, and the guy's getting them to, like, hearing the AD in the back go, and they score, makes me, like, if I was producing, I'd be, why the fuck are we doing? I probably would have interfered with this.
It's also at the end of the day. It's the last thing that they're doing.
Exactly.
That day.
I would have not have been like, I thought the AD, I'm not being critical of this AD because I don't know it, but the AD in the moment that I heard off screen there was just getting run over and didn't have real control of the set. And a first AD really is the person who locks down the set and particularly the workflow and the timing of everything. They make sure that you make your day, basically. So they're the ones with the working with the line producer to schedule, and they're the ones who tell you don't need this. They're the ones the ones that are to tell you, hey, this is going to be a second, maybe 2 seconds in the movie.
That's so smart.
You got it 3 times already, buddy. They're the ones who are supposed to be doing that. And instead, we have them directing, the AD directing in the background to cheer for scores in a slow-mo shot. You know, we were talking about it in the live, but you'd have to you just keep your hands up if you want them to be scoring, because it's literally 2 seconds. So you'd never put your hands down. You'd always have them cheering in the background if that's the effect you want.
I just think it's really funny that Justin Baldoni and his lawyers decided that they would put that out as if for, you know, inviting scrutiny on it.
Yeah.
And that it does nothing for me other than support Blake Lively's case. And the fact that your insight is so clever about this. I mean, it's so valuable because that they even put her through it when they just needed a few seconds of slow-mo footage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is she having to repeatedly say, I think we should be talking instead of kissing? Like, don't put her through it. Just call a cut, dude. Use what you got.
And there is no kissing in the fucking script.
She's talking about how he is he's like persistently and consistently making her uncomfortable and then minimizing it. And there it is, right there. Like, in the evidence that they put out. She's uncomfortable and he's not relenting.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Totally makes her claims.
Cosmic says, that was me when I first watched it. I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought even if it's obvious that she should have spoken up if she was uncomfortable, because some guys can't tell. Well, we have to remember that in context, she kind of did speak up because she's been complaining already about the conditions on the set. You know, it literally was his moment to be well behaved. And instead, he created a more uncomfortable situation. And again, when we're talking about what we're talking about, he's supposed to be the director here. He's supposed to know what's going on. It should have been easy for him to go, oh, you know what? This is only going to... He says at the end of the fucking take...
I know, we got 17 minutes.
We got a 17-minute reel. A 17-minute reel is like a 2.5-minute scene. It's like a 3-minute scene, bro. It's a fucking scene. You know, it's a sequence, like if it's something action, you know, there's sequence to it, but it's not a fucking 2-second slow-mo.
I know.
So when you say whether or not it's a big deal, it's he gets to keep his hands on her. He gets to keep his nose up in it. He gets to keep his lips up in it. He gets to put his thumb up in those lips.
Yeah, that he said that she's like, I think we should be talking. He was like, sorry, I got lost. Like, that's the whole story.
That's the whole story.
He is enjoying slow dancing with Blake Lively. This is the only thing that would make sense to me. I don't know what his motive was for continuing to do this. Like, I think he was just like, what's so strange is that if he prolonged their slow dance because what he wanted was a shot of them kissing in the bar, why didn't he tell her that? Why didn't he start out saying, okay, I'm going to start slow dancing and then I'm going to kiss you and then we're going to get our shot and then we're going to call it a night? Like, I'm not sure why there had to be all of this back and forth. She's saying, I think we should be talking. At what point is he going to direct her and be like, no, listen, my plan for this is for us to kiss. Is that okay? Like, can we do that? Like, why isn't he discussing it? He's just keeps, what's so strange is that he keeps trying to just make her do the thing without communicating that he wants to do the thing. Yeah. The whole thing reminds me of like, I think everybody's had this experience on like a first date when you're a teenager and nobody really knows how to act. So it's like, you know, the guy puts his like hand on your knee and then like tries to slide it up your leg and like just watches to see if you're uncomfortable.
Oh my God,
like,
I did that.
Dude, everybody has. But what I'm saying is,
oh my God,
like,
it was the worst ever. And she froze and I was like, oh my God, I've blown everything.
See what I'm saying? Like that's how he was operating that scene. Instead of just talking, instead of being forthright, instead of talking to her about what he wants from the scene, what he's trying to capture, and then she would have fucking given that to him because she's a professional. I don't understand why he had to keep like dancing around this whole like, okay, I'm gonna like move in, and then she backs up. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Why aren't you talking to her? Communicate what it is you want. His whole story in his lawsuit and his timeline tells a whole different story than the one we saw. He's talking about how he directed her and she refused. There's no fucking directing coming from him to her. He actually turns away from Blake Lively to tell his camera that they're gonna get a close up of their lips really close, not touching. That's the only thing that she has heard from him about what he is hoping to capture. The whole time he's just ignoring her and ignoring the fact that she doesn't understand what's going on, and she has to like request more space constantly or say, I think we should be talking instead of kissing. I think it's just like, it just totally showed that he's not communicating, and I don't know why he thinks he can blame her for that. If she doesn't know what's going on, that's on you, bro. You're the director.
Yeah. Exactly.
If she's not giving you what you want, that's on you, bro. Like, you have to communicate and get an agreement from her. You're the director.
The Fixer says, it's all about the perspective and shows why this whole lawsuit is so important, so the world can be shown how easily the someone's perspective can be altered. I already had the perspective of two real live, so I basically just found an echo chamber, which is another thing humans absolutely love to do. The problem is that, as Melissa Nathan so famously said, people want to hate. So it is difficult to change their perspective from the realm from the realm where they can hate. Oh my God, when you think of it, it's so dumb. People would rather believe there is a cabal of actors that steal movies and controls Hollywood and kept a secret for 20 years, as opposed to there's a production company with an employee practicing seedy behavior and they got called out and then ran a smear campaign on Blake out of their own paranoia. People also love a conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. The crazier, the better. So the former plot is more enticing. This is why Candace Owens is so popular. She appeals to the type of person that needs an outrageous conspiracy, and those are the types that also drive the online narrative. I used to enjoy it for the shit show it was, but now I'm afraid for posterity and the idiocracy that was portended in 2006. Wow, that was fucking quite a comment.
It is. I can kind of speak to this. I actually feel like it's kind of like a lazy conspiracy theory. So if you're into conspiracy theories, it's kind of lazy for you to like go seek Candace Owens and be like, yeah, she's telling us the real deal, because there you are believing a narrative. Yeah. If you're a real conspiracy theories, you're not going to believe somebody's narrative. You're going to be like, what's the reason why she's telling me that? Who is she? Who is she the mouthpiece for? You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? If you're like a true conspiracy theorist, you're not going to believe anything.
You're going to sit there and eat that shit like it's fucking ice cream.
You're not going to you're not going to believe anybody with a platform, because then it's not a.
That's so obviously the conspiracy playing out.
Exactly. Then they obviously have an agenda.
It's right there.
It's just lazy.
It's so well. And this is, I think, the Fixer's point is that it's just food for them. It's just entertainment. It is ice cream.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't, they don't need it to make sense. They don't want it to be real. It's the same thing that I feel is true about most religions, is that people within the religion don't want to be faced with the fact that there's absolutely nothing other than their faith that supports it.
This is correct.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking from like, I am definitely a conspiracy theorist. Like, I love
everybody. It's like
the weirder the better.
Yeah, man. It's a
but
good
what I'm
bite
not
of
going to do, like, I'm definitely like so much of a conspiracy theorist that I don't trust anybody with a platform to tell me what's up.
Sure.
because I'm like, okay, well, obviously they profit, they benefit from convincing people, aligning them with some path, and then monetizing that.
It's kind of like publicists. It feels like a deal with the devil.
It's like publicists. This is the thing.
It does. It feels like a deal with the devil.
Yep.
It's like, hey, dude. All right, listen, how much for your services? And that's it. It's over.
No, it's true.
It's like the lawyers come for your money. You know, Don's Plum made $3 million despite all the shit that happened in advanced money. Like, by the way, if somebody would have said when we were making Don's Plum for fucking $40,000 that my movie was going to make $3 million, I would have said impossible. So it was a huge success even by, even by my original standards for the movie in that respect. Every dime of it went to the lawyers, and then not a dime afterward made its way to the production. The lawyers, and it's lawyers.
That's fishy,
it's lawyers.
bro.
It's public. Of course it is. It's lawyers. It's publicists. It's agents. It's wherever the money. They go to the money and they take it.
No, I know, but so it's like in your case, and with the case of Don's Plum, if you guys made $3 million and that was just enough to cover the film's debt and the lawyer's fees, but nothing more, not a single penny more.
Nope.
What is the good explanation for that? Like, what is the correct
coincidence? Angela, you know that.
It's impossible.
No conspiracy fits.
No, fuck that. See, the thing is about about talking on Too Real, right?
Yeah.
As a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Is that I'm very convinced I don't want any of you guys to believe anything I say.
Yeah.
Because as a true conspiracy theorist, I don't want to influence anybody else.
Do not trust a thing I say.
You gotta do your own. You gotta march to the beat of your own drum. Make your own path. You know.
Oh, Bobo's gone to bed. Good night, Bobo.
Good night.
Sleep well. May you dream of only the great things. Oh, well, there you go. What a great comment. Thanks, Fixer.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Keep them coming. That was really good stuff.
This is another great point Cosmic Urgency is saying about that dance scene.
Yeah.
But with the context of it being 6 seconds and not being in the script, and they're doing anything but dancing, it's obvious he's just a creep. That they're doing anything but dancing. This is another thing. They're not. Did I mention this yesterday?
Well, there's two things.
They're not dancing.
Yeah. Well, so look, there's
it's the one thing that is in the script that he's not doing.
Yeah, and there's that, and the fact that he never once gives her any direction in the entire period of that. She not one line of direction. The closest thing he came to giving her direction was when he said to one of the cameramen, I think it was Pasquale or something. He said, "Hey, fucking close up on us. It's close lips." And he just told her that their lips get close.
Yeah, he didn't
never
talk to
gave her
her
any direction. He never said, "This is how you are. This is how you're feeling." He never even asked her a fucking question. He never asked that actor in his scene as the director one fucking question. And she stood there in that waddle of a dance and said, no, resisted him groping. And you mentioned in the live, in Friday's live, you mentioned about the way he was like all up in that waist and just like caressing the waist and all these things where again, it's a tight shot and they know it's a tight shot. Now, that's not to say that, there isn't acting involved and that would be in and of itself inappropriate. You just add it all together and you realize that this guy was creeping out on this chick and everybody fucking knew it.
Yeah, I just can't believe that the entire time, like, he's not dancing at all. He's just standing there. And she keeps doing these twirls because she's like, what conveys dancing when your partner isn't dancing?
I think she twirled herself out of that one. I forgot to mention it in the live, but that first one, I think she just twirled herself out of a kiss.
I think so, too.
She was just like, now's the time to make a move.
Evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, evasive maneuvers. You were talking about her framing stuff out, and it wasn't as obvious to me while we were in the live as it was while I'd been editing it. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man. You're not kidding, dude. Like, you can see her, like, because it's like, it's not only does she have the frame, but she has this lean away, the way you frame out. Uh-huh. There's that little lean that comes with it.
Yep.
Where I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
It's more comfortable.
This space is like, she's not leaning in. She's not trying to get some. She's trying to get away from some.
I just can't believe that he offered that up for public scrutiny, thinking that he was gonna come out golden. It's just so bad, bro. It's so bad. And I don't feel bad about picking on him because they did offer it for scrutiny.
Yeah.
You know, when you have like a real lawyer and you're anticipating a real trial, you don't behave like this. You don't put all of your evidence and all of your footage and stuff out for people to talk about.
Yeah.
But he did. And so I don't feel bad for like picking on him and dissecting every single thing he does in there because that's what he's asked me to do.
Yeah. I wanted to say one more thing about, I'm changing topics.
Okay.
About Tramo Tillman. I just
Yes.
wanted to say that one more thing about his performance because, you know, again, it's kind of marred in this ridiculousness around this idea that black people should be even having breakthroughs in 2025 in the United States of America.
Right.
But, you know, here we are. First of all, if you haven't seen Severance, he's worth it alone. His
Oh my God,
performance
he's so great.
is fucking amazing. And what makes him so amazing is, and don't go see him beforehand. Like, don't go see any kind of, if you don't know who he is, don't see any interviews. Like, don't see this man do anything other than play this part. And then after you see him play this part for a little bit, go watch some interviews. And you will realize the
How he
depth
transformed.
of this guy's ability, man. This guy, the character that he plays in Severance is an entirely different human being than
so
he
great.
is as a man. And it is fucking flawless. So not only is he deserving of, not only is it like this great breakthrough for black actors, it's just a breakthrough performance in general.
Yeah.
It is wonderful in every fucking possible way. And it's really amazing to see actors of his capability and just how really rich that profession, that craft is right now. We're kind of in an era where there's just so many great actors putting out so many great performances these days.
I hope that he doesn't get like typecast as like like who might he be similar to? Like if he just keeps playing like serious roles.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like serious
He's not
characters.
going to. I think he's such a high level actor. Like to be able to create the character that he created
I
and
know.
deliver that.
Yeah.
He's just too high level. I think at least this is my hope for him is that he's like he knows that his range is.
No,
sick.
I know. I was just worried that he would be like a sort of shoehorned into like a Danny Glover place, you know, where like Danny Glover his whole career just like played the same guy.
Yeah.
Very serious guy, you know?
Yeah. Tillman does what people like Al Pacino wish he could do. Like Al Pacino cannot do as an actor what Tillman does. Cannot.
I mean, not anymore.
No,
anyway.
couldn't ever. I don't think. I think
Because
that he can
I don't know why he just lost his shit. Dude.
Well, I mean, I don't want to belabor that fact, but I just wanted to say, like, in terms of like he's the kind of actor Tillman that actors want to be, even the best, and Pacino's one of the best. I mean, he might have kind of lost his way, but it's hard to hold your way all those years. You can't give up Serpico, and you can't give up Dog Day, and you can't give up The Godfather 1 and 2. You cannot give up those performances, which were
Glenn Ross is like
brilliance.
one of my favorites ever.
Glenn Ross, he's a staggering genius in it. So, he's done it, and he's done it more times than most. And the problem is with him that follows guys of his ability or just anyone of his ability is that they bring with them an expectation, and it's a really tough expectation to meet. And Al Pacino just doesn't have it like say a De Niro does, where almost every performance De Niro has ever done is just like, wow, fuck, that movie sucked, but De Niro. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Forget about it.
De Niro too. He ended up getting typecast like later on, where he was just like the grumpy dad.
Yeah, especially and once again, it's
like what a waste.
It's so funny because like Scent of a Woman was in a way kind of a rom-com-y kind of feel to it, and then De Niro started getting really typecast. I felt like after Meet the Parents.
Yeah, I thought so too.
To Stephen King's chagrin, Time magazine has said that The Shining is the greatest adaptation.
Oh, he hates it.
He fucking hates it.
He hates it. He hates the Kubrick adaptation.
Yeah, and they've called it the greatest King's adaptation. I'm just gonna right now. Do you agree? Yes or no? And if you don't, why? What movie? Just what movie?
Stephen King adaptation?
Yeah. Do you agree or disagree? And if you disagree, then you have to have a replacement.
Okay. Well, I disagree. It's probably one of the best movies that has ever been made of a Stephen King property. But as an adaptation, it's such a departure from what Stephen King wrote that I don't think you can call it a good adaptation because it's not, you didn't put a Stephen King book on the screen. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to be true to the property, then absolutely Kubrick's The Shining is not.
Adaptations do not require being true to the property.
They don't?
Do not.
Okay, well then I agree. Because it's a huge departure.
And well, I'm glad you agree.
I thought it was better.
The two things that you mentioned are probably why Time has chosen it to be the great adaptation that it is, because it is such a departure and it is iconic.
Like, so does Stephen King wish that Kubrick had filmed like topiaries that come to life? Because
yes.
No, dude. Nobody wants that in a movie.
So, a good example of this, what's interesting about this is because Stephen King, he fucking, begrudges the whole thing. Well, interestingly enough, Quentin Tarantino's Natural Born Killers screenplay, which I have read, it read more like Badlands. I
bet it did, because he's a copy artist.
Nothing like the movie made by Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone's version of that movie was really an adaptation of Quentin Tarantino's script, despite the credits.
Yeah, it's so great.
And Quentin Tarantino fucking hates it.
Yeah, well, sorry.
So there's like some similarities.
We love it. Sorry. But my favorite Stephen King adaptation is Stand By Me, After the Body. I'm also extremely pumped for The Long Walk because I have been waiting. They've been teasing.
That doesn't qualify. That's not in the question.
I know, okay, but they've been teasing that for 30 years. And so it's already dear to my heart because I've been waiting for it for that long.
My answer is if it's not The Shining, then it's probably Misery.
Ooh, Misery's a good one.
But I haven't read Dolores Claiborne, but I do think that the movie is quite masterful. And of course there's Shawshank Redemption, which is the weirdest one of them all, because obviously Shawshank is the one that everyone thinks is one of the greatest movies ever made. So.
That's a really, really good one. The Green Mile, too, was also really, really true to the book.
Every time you say it, I was in Denmark when it got released, and Jerry Metters kept pronouncing it as he read the Danish posters, which was "Den Green Mile." So he kept going around "Den Green Mile," and every fucking time for 30 years, almost now, it's a curse.
I know that's
Jerry Metters ruined the Green Mile, the title for me, because all he kept doing was going "Den Green Mile."
That's a horrible language. I was living in Brazil when Armageddon came out. It was like a big summer blockbuster. Yeah. And of course, when they were advertising that one in Brazil, it's the same word, obviously, because it's biblical.
Yeah.
But they called it Armageddon.
Armageddon.
So that's what it's always been for me ever since.
Just Armageddon, right?
Armageddon.
That's so funny. It's amazing. I guess that's how we learn how to speak languages. Yeah, because that shit just sticks to you, and you're like, God, that stuck to me. Yeah. It's not the buts and the ends.
So now anytime it's just somebody's talking about the end times, it's going to be Armageddon. I'm like, Armageddon.
Armageddon. Hey, listen, man, I don't like to talk politics, but I couldn't help but laugh at this one because Donald Trump said, and I like actually clicked on it to make sure it was something he'd said.
I bet it's
not
funny.
He said that smart people don't like me. It's pretty funny.
He said, smart people don't like me?
Smart people don't like me. I cannot believe that he can just get away with insulting the people who do so easily.
No, he constantly does that.
Like, he literally just called all the people who like him dumb.
I don't know why he can't keep
I don't want to go off of it because
shut.
we're not a political channel, but isn't that funny?
But why can't he keep his mouth shut? Because usually when people are like lifelong con artists and scammers, they will know not to fucking telegraph the whole scam. He does not. And they still buy it. So that's probably why he doesn't bother anymore. He's like, I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm doing because you won't care.
Cosmic Urgency says, Kubrick did Wendy so dirty that ain't Wendy. Well, maybe that's true. But what he did do is he worked with the Wendy he had.
Yes.
The Wendy that was sort of co-created through the adaptation. This is the whole point of adaptation. I love that we as fans of the underlying material can be, so defensive over it. But as artists go, I also love being able to interpret what's there. I mean, it's going to be interesting if I'm ever faced with the opportunity to adapt even my own stuff, because I wouldn't look at my adaptation to some kind of like, just necessarily at least as some kind of like just sort of whatever you called edited version of the story.
I think you're a much more eager collaborator than a lot of people are, though. Like, I feel like you would see an adaptation for as a different piece of work, and you wouldn't feel any like ego issues with that.
Probably that's probably true. Ryan Reynolds has impressed me again.
Because he's Canadian.
Well, and he's just let me tell you, man. Y'all can hate him if you want to.
Oh, Renata.
I don't think he's a hateful person.
Renata's a Brazilian. This just in, breaking news.
So it is Renata.
Renata. I've been saying your name wrong because I wasn't sure.
Renata, we have family in Brazil. They might even be with us this evening. Sometimes they drop in.
Oh, Shannon O said I was living in Spain when iRobot came out, so the poster said, "Yo, robot." That's so weird.
Yo, robot, what's up?
Yo, robot.
What's going down?
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted what you were saying.
No,
Start
Renata,
over.
are you kidding me? As a Brazilian, I am laughing. Ryan Reynolds called a journalist who insulted John Candy's weight after discovering the footage. And what's really interesting about this article in Variety today is that this is coming out from TIFF, that what he revealed was, well, let me read it for you, or this portion of it. So Ryan Reynolds revealed at TIFF that he personally called a journalist who had once mocked John Candy's weight. The Deadpool actor saw archival footage of the insulting incident while working as a producer on Colin Hanks' documentary, John Candy, I Like Me, which opened the festival. There was a lot of things we left out of the documentary, journalists just saying stuff. One of them I called, Reynolds said about the journalist who was on camera making inflammatory comments about Candy's weight. I didn't put it in the movie because I called this journalist just to see. I wasn't trying to shame him or teach him a lesson, Reynolds continued. I told him, I took it out of the movie, but I put it back in if he wanted to talk about it, because maybe he had something to say about it, about, your journey whenever it comes to something like that. We had such a thoughtful conversation about it. So, he was given an opportunity to put in everything that people love in a movie or he put in controversy, make everybody incendiary over this man's comments. Because John Candy, he knows, Ryan Reynolds, certainly Colin Hanks would know, that John Candy is a beloved figure.
Universally beloved.
That
if you are mean to John Candy, then everyone is going to take personal offense to that.
Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds so when you talk about power,
yes,
he has power in his hands right there.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking power.
Right.
This journalist lives.
No, I know that journalist could have had his nose rubbed in it. 20 years after the fact,
By the way,
30 years after the fact.
Fat shaming in the 90s was like eating breakfast.
I know, totally.
And, it was just a different time. There were different taboos.
I just think that says a lot about him as a producer, that he's like not, that it's like everything is so saturated with clickbait shit and like anger farming, like rage baiting, that he really had an opportunity there to indulge in that. But, he's too Canadian for that.
Well, and he just had, it sells tickets.
It's just like you, like you're too Canadian to want to, you're going to be like, okay, well, let's figure out whether there's something useful to come from this conversation and whether it makes sense in the documentary. But you're not just going to fucking rage bait and get everybody to target a journalist who said something mean 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's really great. That shows a lot of restraint. And I think that's commendable.
You look at...
Why is he talking about it, though? He's patting himself on the back about it?
Let me continue.
Okay.
Even with this journalist removed from John Candy, I Like Me, Hank's film still contains many examples of interviews essentially calling Candy fat to his face. You look at interview after interview, and horrible things are being said and questions are being asked in incredibly sensitive ways, Hanks told Variety before the film's TIFF premiere. It's tough to see how uncomfortable John was in almost every clip. And he had good reason, because some of the things that people said were disgusting and would not be tolerated today. So yeah, I'm just so fucking sold on this because it's going to rip my heart to pieces. Like I am absolutely.
You and I both cried watching the trailer.
Yeah, we cried in the trailer.
I was like, oh man, these guys are good.
This guy I love. Like I always joke about getting tattoos, and I could very easily find myself one day just getting a piece of candy with John on it and calling it a day. He's so beloved to me and obviously to everyone else. So I'm really excited about this movie. No, I don't think this was about, what are you fucking cynical now? What's he doing? Bragging? No, I think he was trying to tell a story. I think the story was about how people were mean, but how that didn't mean that he had to be mean in the process. And, I guess, I don't know the context from which it came, but I do love what he did in that situation, because as a producer, here's a good example. I did something similar. not quite as profoundly important as what he did there, because I believe that to be important. I don't think that journalist needs to be outed in that situation at all.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that he gave the journalist an opportunity to speak to his own past, which, lies there, on record. In our movie, during we had a free-for-all improv.
Yeah.
And so nothing was written. It was just, guys, anything you want, go. And we just rolled the cameras on it. And one of the actors, they told a very personal and true story about one of our friends that was highly embarrassing.
Embarrassing to the friend.
So embarrassing. And
The friend who wasn't involved in the film.
Yeah. And named him by first name. Everybody we knew would know who this person was talking about
Because it was really embarrassing.
because of that first name.
But
Yes.
but also the event he was talking about.
Well, some people knew about it, others didn't. I didn't know about it until it happened.
Okay.
Until he did the improv. When he
That's
did the
messed up.
improv, I was like, because I knew who he was talking about.
Yeah.
RD wanted to put it in the movie. And I was like, you're not fucking doing it. Over my fucking dead body.
Oh, 'cause it's embarrassing.
Yeah, dude. But that's not what we were doing. We weren't making movies to do that.
Yeah.
There was nothing about that. This isn't a movie. He was like, dude, if
Well, you can say who said it.
Connolly didn't want it in the movie, then he shouldn't have said it. And I was like, that's not
Yeah,
what this
'cause
is about. This isn't about Connolly. This is about us. He shouldn't have said it. He fucking shouldn't have.
Right.
Now it's up to us to protect our friends.
Did you guys fight about it? You and RD?
Me and RD fought about it.
Did you bring it up to Kevin Connolly?
No.
No?
He has no idea.
Okay. But he knew that it didn't make it, right?
Yes.
That's interesting.
But I would never have, I would have, no.
How did you win the argument with RD, you think?
Oh, I probably threatened to take the ball and go home kind of thing. I was like, fuck you. Why you can cut the movie alone, then I'm out of here. Like, I'm not going to put my name, or I'm not going to be party to exposing our friends in vulnerable and embarrassing moments in their lives. We're all fucking learning, dude. I've made how many, and how many more will I make?
I think it's a great point.
Don't throw them in my face in my art.
Yeah, like your art's not meant to shame one of your friends.
Exactly.
Right.
And, I think that this is an important, now in this case, it's a little more important. In this case, it's a really interesting, almost, he's Ryan Reynolds and certainly Colin Hanks, but all the filmmakers really faced with, because there's something socially important going on as well. What Connolly did when he was outing our friend was he was just being an asshole. What this reporter did was he was living in a taboo and a shameful, bigoted taboo that, has truly changed as Hanks so aptly put in the article, this would not be tolerated today.
Oh my God, I know.
So it's like important in that social context, historically, and just, it is interesting every now and then to see how that the bar has been pushed up.
Oh yeah, totally. Like sometimes you and I will like stumble across like old videos of comedians, and the kind of material that gets the entire crowd like laughing so loudly, like totally guffawing, is some of the worst, most insensitive, bigoted material you could hear. And I just remember it being so normal back then.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. I'm glad that comedy changed. Like all those male comedians that would be like, their whole bit was about how much they hate their wives. They're like making jokes constantly, like, take my wife, please.
I'm protective of comedy.
So stupid.
I believe in. I love comedies. I love the way comedy has evolved. I love every iteration of it, even the uncomfortable stuff. I think stand-up comedy is one of the great social commentaries of our time. I think you could go back and watch stand-up comedy, and you can get a very unique and very authentic reflections of the time they're standing in ways that you can't through other art forms. The satire, the twisting of truth, but the bearing, the really, like, comics, certainly since Lenny Bruce, have really put the raw stuff in our faces, and they've caused us to talk. Even Dave Chappelle, even and the point that I'm making about this isn't that they have to be anyone you agree with or anything that you agree with. in order to be really important to this culture. So I agree with you. I'm so happy for the way comedy has changed. This is what I love about comedy. Watch comedy. Go all the way back. Go through the ages of comedy and watch as it's sort of discovers its voice nested in this crazy world that we live in, and how it kind of spits it back out at us in ways that can help us gain new perspectives while either laughing uncomfortably or even getting angry enough to even walk out.
I'm also very, I really appreciate the way that people have been pushing back on comedians just enough to get everybody to clarify the difference between punching up and punching down.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like finally everybody has like a good sense of what we accept as a target of a joke and what we won't.
Yeah.
And it has everything to do with their their class or like their status in society, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to hear, if I see a comedian and I'm like, okay, this guy's got great timing and the crowd loves him, I'm like, let's check this out. And he does some punch down comedy, like, I'm out so fast, you know? I just don't think it's entertaining at all to like make fun of people who are having a rough time. And I think that that's finally been defined for comedians. And everybody that's continuing to succeed recognizes that that's just a kind of comedy that nobody has a taste for anymore, like they used to, like in the 90s and 80s.
It's the evolution of comedy. The beautiful thing about how comedy, stand-up comedy in particular has evolved is that if you don't change, you fall.
Yeah.
You don't change,
right.
you fall.
I know.
That's comedy. And that's the beauty of comedy.
I know.
Comedy is run by a god. You know, it's a spirit. and if it rejects you, then you're gonna be making jokes to the mirror.
I also just think it's really delightful how like you made jokes to the mirror.
I used to rehearse my shows. In front of
you have
mirrors.
to rehearse.
Yeah.
I also think that it's like, it's also delightful that like every single one of the comedians that was complaining about how they kept tanking at college campuses, and they were like, you know, these kids don't know what's funny anymore, and cancel culture and all of this, like like they were talking about how everybody's like too fucking woke for comedy or something.
Yeah.
Instead of just like adapting their comedy style to entertain their audiences. None of those guys are relevant anymore. They all went away because they couldn't adapt. They couldn't evolve. So they died. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's a fact, Jack.
Good riddance.
Good fucking riddance.
Like, I'm sorry, you're not getting laughs. Make better jokes. Like, that's really the only solution.
So yeah, I brought this up earlier, but just to, touch on it, but Woody Allen just fell completely off the cliff when he came out and said that Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have been nicer at
Dude,
dinners.
he dropped the mask for sure. He was like, okay, well, finally I'll be the villain that you guys all wanted me to be.
By the way, look.
No problem.
I know that Jeffrey Epstein was nice to people. I know that people felt like he was probably incredibly kind and even charismatic to some. Do you know what I mean? I've made this argument about Leonardo DiCaprio, who's been nothing but hateful and horrible to me. Like, of course he's been loving to others.
But it's really interesting that you make that connection, because very much like how Diddy was taking pictures and videos of all of his friends, everybody felt just as comfortable with Jeffrey Epstein too. Everybody's providing their own video and their own pictures of the bad things that they're doing to Jeffrey Epstein. He was like, I know, I'm going to collect negative evidence of all of my friends, and I'm going to hold this for blackmail. And I bet that he was really surprised to see that they started supplying their own. Because that's getting unsealed now, And it's a bunch of these people who were like admitting. They're writing in notes and they're sending photographs, like totally, fully admitting to the things that they're being accused of. It's astonishing. And so it must have been the same way for Diddy, because, one of the allegations against him was that he was collecting blackmail evidence against people. Yeah. Everybody just willingly does it. It's probably pretty easy. Scientology does that too, right?
I think so.
Where they're like, all you have to do to become a Scientologist, first thing that we have you do is go into this room and confess all of the worst things you've ever done to this person who is taking meticulous notes.
And
then we will keep those notes and do absolutely nothing harmful with them.
I think it starts with a personality test.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh.
They're like, you're
on your way to suppressed personality.
Do you have some regrets that you want to get off your chest?
And
let me just record all of those very clearly here in this notepad that we'll turn over to the authorities in our religion.
Ice Cube says that he shot his War of the Worlds, which is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. He shot his. It is the worst movie I've ever seen. I am not exaggerating. That is the worst.
The new War of the Worlds.
Yes, that Ice Cube has only been in one of them, and God save us all. Ice Cube says that he shot his War of the Worlds scenes. And he was the lead. He shot him in 15 days.
What?
Which, okay, because he's in a fucking booth. I'm surprised it took that long. Without the director or other actors. Now, the other actors part I understand too, because would you?
Without the director?
Without the director. So remember what I said that it was...
Without the other actors? It looked
more like a fucking Canva presentation than it did a fucking
That's why.
movie. There you go. Yeah, a fucking director's not there for your key performance. He's not even there.
Also, it says it really explains a lot.
What is that? What is he directing or she?
That he wasn't reacting to any of the other actors too. That explains a lot because it was really strange. He
does not have that depth as an actor.
To just wing it by himself?
To make believe in the authentic relationship between each imagined character without ever having that.
Right.
Like, we're talking about the character that they asked him to play was to have these relationships with where he never actually interacted with them. I don't know. I actually did he interact at the end? Maybe I missed that part.
No, he interacted with them, but
no, I'm not talking about in communication digitally because he didn't work with other actors in that situation.
Incredible.
You wouldn't. You would have somebody reading off screen. You'd have an AD reading off screen. But the AD isn't going to be them, so the complexity of that acting job is intense because you have to convey different relationships with different people authentically, like they're actual real. And he is not equipped for that. He's Ice Cube.
It explains so much.
He doesn't even have a real name.
Okay.
Did you hear that Sean Astin got elected?
Yes.
He's the president of SAG-AFTRA.
Yes.
So a hobbit, a hobbit runs the world. I'm thrilled.
I think I've seen a bunch of other Sean Astin pieces,
Yes.
Roles that he's played.
Yes.
Where he's like a little bit more gritty.
Yeah.
And I think he had a lot of range that I don't think that people are giving him credit for because he kept doing these fucking Disney movies and shit,
Yeah. What's that one where he talks with a lisp?
I don't know that one.
He's the movie where he talks with a lisp through the whole thing.
Really?
And it's fucking hilarious, dude.
Is he good?
Oh my God. What's the movie that he talks with a lisp like this?
My name is Sean Astin.
My name is, oh my God, it's so funny.
Sean Astin.
And my very final thing is on Spinal Tap 2. The end continues. I just got this headline that I loved, and so I saved it for you guys. It's called Spinal Tap 2. The end continues. It's pure geriatric mayhem. And that immediately sounds like there's going to be poop involved, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be.
Oh my God. That was the most lukewarm pushback I could have done, and it silenced you completely. I don't think I've ever so successfully taken the wind completely out of your sails.
You ruined the whole joke.
But I wasn't meaning to.
You took the whole joke away at the end of the live. I'm dropping the big one, and you just take it away.
Stop it.
You say you love me, but that's what you do.
Okay, but listen. So the chat is offering some really interesting things.
Well, you got to put the pod on. So
okay, so Lee said that Sean Astin is Patty Duke's son, and this is true.
That's true.
So he grew up in the business. I think
did.
it's really interesting that he's made such a massive career. If you guys want to see
Sean Penn did.
He grew up in the business?
Yeah. His dad was a fucking director.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, TV director for sure. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sean Penn, I think he has.
Liza Minnelli.
I think Sean Penn also has siblings in music, maybe?
Angelica Houston.
Mm-hmm. Angelica Houston. Danny Houston is her half-brother, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really good.
Is he really good or half as good?
Oh, they're both really good.
I believe it.
Patty Duke's son. If you guys want to see a Sean Astin movie that nobody ever talks about, that he does a really good job in, it's called Where the Day Takes You. And it's chock full of other, stars before they were stars. It's a 1990s movie about a bunch of runaways. Will Smith is in it, and he plays a homeless kid, and it's amazing. That movie's
shot
amazing.
on 16, and it's in that crop. It's not. They didn't like we shot it to crop it. into a 35 crop.
Yeah.
But they kept it at 16, so you get that 4:3 or whatever it is. I don't. What is that aspect ratio? I can't even remember now. Fucking whatever. Anyway, you get that which is what our negative looks like. If you actually saw Don's Plum as it was shot, it's like shot in a box.
Really?
Yeah, and then we
and then you cropped it.
Yeah. You bet we did.
Where the Day Takes You, Dale kind of rolls his eyes every time I mention this movie because it doesn't really.
I don't roll my eyes. I think it's a decent film.
It's a decent movie.
I think it's got a ridiculous cast.
So the cast is outrageous.
I think it wanted to be something different than it became.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it was one of those movies. There were these movies in the 90s that got made. I knew some people making them. Maybe Don's Plum's one of them, where you just think you're making something fucking like, okay, this is important.
I liked it.
Hey,
I thought it was one of those.
No. It's not about liking it. This movie's fucking important.
It has everybody in it.
This movie is going to change the way people think about things.
You watch that movie, you watch Where the Day Takes You, and like every 5 minutes you're like, oh shit, it's that guy. Oh shit, it's this person.
No,
That's
that movie's
awesome.
loaded with a cast. The director had some really good ideas and concepts. There's some really great performances in it. I think that for me, the movie didn't like sort of, I can see, by the way, as a younger person, like I've shown you movies like that and that you were just like, nah, it's not the one for me.
You're like, but if you'd watched it when you were 13.
Right. When you were impressionable, when you could believe, when you could suspend your, disbelief in ways that you wouldn't definitely not agree to as a 55-year-old man or 40-whatever-year-old woman.
I also think that Where the Day Takes You is very much like a love letter to the grittier side of Los Angeles. And I think that you can only make that movie if you're from LA, like the director was.
Yeah.
And because at that time there was like this big PR push that LA was like this really pristine, great destination for families and stuff. And it absolutely the fuck was not.
I used to be
really
friends with Soleil Moon Frye. Mm-hmm. And her and her brother were making a movie. I forget her brother's name is Milo or something. Anyway, he was this like, he just had this whole like pretentious artsy, like I'm going to be so important. And Soleil, unbeknownst to most of us, certainly me, had been recording our conversations, our actual like talking conversations.
What, for her movie?
To write dialogue with, which was kind of infuriating.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, what are you, fucking AI all of a sudden? But anyway.
She's doing like surveillance on her fucking friends.
So they're casting everyone we know, like Danny Masterson and like Giovanni Ribisi and all of our like peripheral cast, like and they put all these people in this fucking movie and dude, they shoot it and all I hear from all these people like Vonnie and all these people are like, oh, fuck yeah, Milo. I think his name is Milo. Milo was fucking genius. And I'm like, really? And I knew Soleil well. I did not know her brother at all. I saw him a few times. Like I'm struggling to remember his name. But anyway, I did see him around. He was definitely that tortured, like, oh, fuck, bro. I'm just trying
type.
to grasp the concepts of breathing. You know what I mean? just totally out of control, like, artsy mind. Anyway, he's going to be a fucking genius. The cast walks away. I'm actually kind of starting to feel envious because I'm like, I'm not trying to be a genius. I'm just trying to survive. And I'm like, how am I supposed to survive around fucking geniuses, bro? I can't get a leg up around a fucking genius. Nobody got to see the movie.
Why?
Because it was so bad.
Oh, no.
Like, some of the cast saw it and they were like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. What a shit show.
This was in the 90s?
Before just after Don's Plum or before Don's Plum?
Dude, it must have been really
While
fucking
Don's
bad.
Plum was happening.
It must have been really bad because there's a lot of movies that I saw in the 90s that were like really cool art house movies that weren't good, but they were still cool because of what they were. Like, did you ever see the Perry Farrell movie, the Perry Farrell, Casey Nicholae movie, Gift? No, The Gift? No, Gift. No, The Gift. I can't remember because there's another, if you search for it, you get the other kind.
So if I shot this in 4K, I could like move in every time you changed.
I can't remember. Did you ever see it?
I think I might have.
It's like a Jane's Addiction movie, but it was like Perry Farrell made with his girlfriend Casey Nicholae.
I didn't see it.
Who's an artist.
No.
And it's like what you're describing, where they just like basically went off and made a movie together, and it is totally incoherent, and it just has some Jane's Addiction music in it, and it's fucking awesome. It doesn't work at all, but it's so great. And so it's what you're saying, what you're describing, I feel like it had to be like really, really bad if people were rejecting it in the 90s, because there's a lot of that shit where people were just like,
yeah, Lee just hit it. Milo with the curly black hair. Long curly black hair at that.
You guys know.
That's Milo. Wait, how do you know Milo? Oh, was he in the Goonies? Is that true? Oh my God.
No. They're talking about Sean Astin.
Sean Astin was in the
Astin
Goonies,
in
yeah.
the Goonies, yeah.
I didn't fucking know Well, anyway, yeah, Milo. That's so funny. I can't believe you know what Milo looks like. I can see him perfectly in my very impressionable in that way.
Yeah. Speaking of surprise,
We gotta get the pot on if we're gonna have breakfast.
okay. You want me to go do that and come back? Why don't we just wrap up?
We should wrap up, right?
This is interesting, though.
What?
Speaking of surprise casting,
Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency said, thoughts on John Candy in one of my all-time favorites, JFK?
Oh yeah. Well, I first of all, of course, I was surprised. I didn't. When I went and saw JFK in the theaters, I had no idea he was gonna.
Yeah, Fellbaumling said, oh yeah, Candy played Dean Andrews. You're watching, surprised, thinking Candy can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he did. He was.
I didn't know he was in
fucking
that.
great. Yeah, he's great. He has this
wanna
great.
watch it again.
It's nothing funny about it. It's very, like, it's like a I don't want to say deep scene. It's like a, whatever. It's intense. It's a tense scene.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, he was. His name's Mino. Is that what it is, Mino? See, I don't fucking know. He's a moon fry. Mino Pellucci? Oh, what the fuck? Who are you guys? Now you guys are making me
I
like
know.
he's like my old friends or something.
They're
like-
all hanging out with you.
You guys like
Incognito.
You guys are like my old friends from Hollywood who won't admit that you're fucking hanging out with me again. Is that what this is? Is that what this is?
That's why you
Who
can't.
is it?
That's why Cosmic Urgency won't give you his address.
Is Clea Duvall here? I was gonna say Hunter Bodine, but there's no way Hunter Bodine is here. That tire stabbing fuck. All right, listen to me, you guys. I gotta go. You guys have been a delight, an absolute goddamn delight. I love hanging out with you every time. I cannot believe it. It's not because I don't think you guys are fun to hang out with or that you won't be the next day. It's just that we do it every fucking day at the same time, and it's usually just me and Angela doing the yakking. Somehow I find great joy in it. So I thank you for joining us. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot. There was supposed to be a lot of Baldoni shit going down today.
Yes.
So we might be seeing some midnight drops.
I know. I'm expecting more.
We'll keep our eyes posted because Phillies are fucking battling the Dodgers tonight. By the way, just some quick sports updates. Eagles beat the Chiefs. People are complaining and whining about the tush push, the brotherly shove. I say whatever, fuck, it's football. Whatever, those are the rules. You don't like it, too bad. Eagles are 2-0. Chiefs are 0-2. I don't know what to say about that except I'm going to eat the pudding. You guys are lovely human beings. Thank you for spending your evenings with us when you do. I hope you'll come back and see us tomorrow where we're going to have another good one, I hope. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.